And we back. Episode. Hold up. Oh, 38.
I be doing the same thing.
I'd be having to read
same
off the
thing.
screen, and I looked up and I was like, "Oh shit, where did I put?" Oh, it's just right there.
That's the same thing I be doing with mine, bro. I be like, episode. Wait, hold on. Same thing.
Look, I'll pull back the curtain for everybody. So when I get ready to put the title in or whatever for the YouTube and everything else, what up, Sloan? I literally copy and paste from last week's episode and then just make sure I change the number. I don't do nothing special. Yeah. I don't do nothing special. Nothing special. But this is episode 38 of Sucio Sports presented by Gel Black. Yeah, I'm pointing over the left shoulder. See, the logo is above your head. So normally when Keyz is here, he just does this. I gotta make sure I point over the right. Dad, see, you even got it off the rip. Like I be screwing it up.
Oh yeah,
I see the one messing it up.
Yes, I see it.
Oh man, but yeah, man. Episode 38 of Sucio Sports presented by Gel Blasters. Keyz will be here in a minute, but we had a lot of NBA stuff going on this past week, you know, and I really I like to bring on people that I know could either push me to my limits or teach me something.
Okay.
And so this guy, I know for a fact he gonna do one of the two or both. So I made sure I brought him in because like it's only a few people that I could really talk basketball with to that level and be like, okay, I'm comfortable talking basketball or something with somebody. And this is my guy. Y'all may know him as Red Nation Blogger on Twitter, but I'll let him introduce himself.
Hey man, I'm Red Nation Blogger, man. Love the Rockets, huge Rockets fan. So y'all can see in the back, Jalen Green, Rockets. I got some old stuff, even going back to Harden and Dwight, but I don't want to put that depressing era up. So you know, we're gonna focus on the future, focus on the present. Appreciate you for having me, man. I'm a fan of your work too, man. Shoot, I support you, so it's all love, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. It's just been like I tell people sometimes, like you know when you recognize somebody like they know something because you can tell by the way they speak on it and the type of things that they say and how they'll stand behind what they say. And that's one thing I always respected about you is like it don't matter where we at. It could be Twitter, it could be Facebook, sports groups, which is like the whole different cesspool of tomfoolery. But like this guy, I know for a fact, if he gonna say something, he gonna stand on it, and he gonna like no, this is why I say what I say. He gonna bring you what he believes is his facts and stats and everything else. So I'm like, what better person to have on to talk about all this craziness in the draft and free agency than my guy. But so let's get the elephant in the room out the way first, so we could just move on to bigger and better things. Do you have a problem with what LeBron orchestrated with Bronny?
No.
Me either.
No, it's not that big of a deal. People need to calm down. It was the 55th overall pick. If you notice, you in a group with me, I've been posting every single trade that involves a second round pick. I have been posting and seeing where would the outrage be for these so-called valued second round picks, and nobody gives a damn because we know don't nobody give a damn about second round picks. When they convey and they turn into Draymond Greens, Manu Ginobili's, Nikola Jokic's, we start talking about them. But nobody cares about second round picks, man. Most of those guys are out of the league anyway. You know what I'm saying? So we know that. It's just because of who the player is. That's all it is.
Thank you. Thank you. It's because of the player and because of who his dad is. And this is why we're getting all this stuff right now. And I was in a private group with a couple of my really good friends. Unprofessional like a motherfucker. But because I was trying to share something with somebody. But look, like I gotta tell my mom I'm on the pod, or she will call. She texted me a little while ago and I text her back. But I know my mom, she'll call. But if I send her the link, she already knows, okay, I can't call him for the next like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So everybody on the show knows, like, yeah, you got to make sure send a link to your mom. Don't have Miss Cindy calling and stuff while we on the air. But nah, like the thing is, like I was telling some friends, and this Vince comment is perfect. I wish I had a dad who loved me like LeBron. Facts. Cause like I was like, man, you know, as a dad with kids, and my kids grown now, they 18 and 21. But still, it don't stop. It's a 24/7, 365 job until one or both of y'all dead and gone. Like it don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, sometimes I'm dealing with it right now with my mom and my dad. It's like the older they get, they become more like your kids.
Facts.
And like my mom called me the other day about some cooking shit. She was like, "Hey, you think I could do this, and this, or how should I do this? Or I'm trying to do this. What do you think I should do?" And I'm like, "Okay, just do blah 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 blah, and it'll come out like that. Send me the pictures when you finish." She's like, "Okay, cool." Like she still to this day will call, "Hey, what should I do?" Like she'll call me and ask me about stuff like that. But like that relationship, you know what I'm saying, that parents have with their kids is different. And unless you have kids of your own, you'll never know what that's like. You may get really close to that feeling. And there are some people I think that have paternal instincts that don't have kids just because of the way they make decisions and how they move. So I'm not going to say that you can't identify as a parent, even if you don't have kids, but there's just certain things in you a little bit different when you have kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish I could do stuff like that for my kids. Speaking of
Absolutely.
the devil, this guy, what dog? We're just talking about Bronny and LeBron, and
you got a link I can share this to? You got a link I can share this in? I could like copy and
you
paste
know
the
what?
link.
Let me send it to you right.
Yeah, send it to me in a DM on Twitter or Facebook, and I'll post it.
I'm about to say the YouTube one. I always send that out.
Yeah, I think I got it copied right now. Hold up, because I just sent it to.
Okay,
I was telling him I had to send it to my mom, but or else she'll call.
Every time.
See,
every time. She's faithful for that. Shout out, mom,
bro. Every time.
It's crazy y'all were talking about kids because that's what took me so long to get here. These goddamn kids. Damn kids, man.
Bruh. And we all hyped up the day Bronny played with Bron, and now all of a sudden we care about taking a flyer on the 55th pick. But look, here's the thing. Like straight up, don't nobody really care. Like they don't really care like that.
I care. As a Laker
You're
fan.
a Laker fan though.
But I care. I don't care in a positive way though. You saw my tweets. I get it, right? He did for his son what he's been doing for his friends since the moment he got in the league. He put him in position, right? Mm-hmm. Because to be fair and to be completely honest, we've talked about Bronny since the season started last year with the heart issues, and like honestly, I don't even think even next year, let's say he stayed in college, he played a full year, Bronny wasn't going to be a first round pick even next year. He probably wouldn't have been a second round pick even next year. Bronny's good, but he ain't that good. He's kind of like Dwayne Wade's son, like Zaire. Zaire's he can ball, he can hoop. He won't first or second round pick hoop. Like he made the G League, and that was as high as he got. And I think Zaire is actually better than Bronny, if you want to be completely honest. I think Zaire's game is way better than Bronny's is. But the difference is Zaire came in the league when his daddy was leaving. Bronny is coming in when his daddy got about 2, maybe 4 left. Maybe 4 at the max. Like this last contract may be it for him, but it's 2 to 4, right? Mm-hmm. This was Bron's best time to use what he can and what he has left to get him on a team and get him locked on the team. and it just happened to be the team that he plays for. As a Laker fan, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, it's dope. First father-son duo in the league to play together. I think we haven't seen it since Ken Griffey and his dad, right? As far as in sports. So it's amazing. From a father standpoint, I love it. It's amazing. From a Lakers standpoint, it was so many other people we could have went and got that could have fit the need.
So I have a question for you. You a Lakers fan, so I have a question for you. Were you upset when they gave a post Achilles tear Kobe Bryant a new contract that was like going to hinder them from really, even though Kobe had tore his Achilles, I don't think that whoever they would have signed would have helped win the championship anyway, because Kobe was like done after that Achilles tear. He played 6 games the next year, and then after that, he played like 35 to 37 games. So he was cooked anyway. But do you think, were you upset with that contract?
Yes.
That they had gave Kobe. Okay, see that right there, I don't mind because it's consistency there. A bad decision. You're cool with it. My thing is when people like throw that to the side and they say, "Oh, well, the Kobe thing that well, such and such, he was a Laker, and
and I get
like,
that.
No, like that was a bad contract. Like
that's
no
like
matter how you spin it."
That's like how everybody's talking about Clay thing right now, like where everybody felt like Golden State should have gave him the money.
But the difference is Clay, although he's 2 years removed, going on 3 years removed from an Achilles tear, from an ACL tear, he shot 39% from three. He averaged 18 and 19 points per game. Like he played 70 plus games. Like he actually was on the court. The difference with Kobe is when they gave him that money, Kobe was a cooked product by that point. Like he was no longer like even top 50 anymore. It was sad to see because
any other franchise would have threw him to the side, to be complete.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of people that didn't have an issue with that, that call themselves Lakers fans, have an issue with this. And that's where
I totally had an issue with that because it held us up from being able to do anything for a long time. We couldn't sign anybody. We couldn't bring nobody in. We had to rely on free agency, and barely that with free agency for real. And it really was draft picks, bringing people in during summer league. Nigga, Smush Parker was my point guard. I'm still pissed about that, dog. Fucking Robert Sacre was my center. Like, that was horrible times to be a Laker fan, man. Like, I had better years as an Eagle fan when we sucked than that.
Yeah. No, I understand. No, I just, that's my thing. Like I say, though, like for me, it's all about just consistency and not being hypocritical. And you run into a lot of people that change their morals and their principles depending on who the player is. And like, as long as people don't do that, I'm cool with it. But it's when people start, like, nobody can tell me. I know the last 5 because I just did like a podcast on it, but nobody can tell me the last 5 55th overall picks, but yet everybody is outraged. The only 55th overall pick, the last one that was productive, was 2021 Aaron Wiggins from OKC. He just got a contract extension.
He just got
the other ones are not in the league, or they're still in the G League, or they're still trying to make rosters, etc., etc. Like, so now for people say, "Oh, we could have got talent there." Like where? Like,
I mean, it was a couple that I would have put above him. Like, I like old boy from South Carolina. Like, I'm shocked he didn't get picked. Go ask mommy. Go. Only reason I think he didn't is because we talked about it before on here. Like, he's an undersized big in the league. In college, he's fine. He can bang down low as far as being a power forward, center, or whatever. But he's like Zion when he get in the league. He's undersized at small forward, power forward, and center. Because he's only like 6'6", something like that. He really ain't big for like as far as height. Like body wise, he is, but height he's not.
Yeah, he's about 6'6", 6'7", I want to say, but
who? Oh, you talking about? Okay, I thought y'all was talking about Bronny. I was like, ain't no one.
Bronny. DJ Burns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, they got him listed as 6'9".
I like DJ Burns though, man. All I'm saying is Bronny won't that good. Hell, it was the dude on his team that didn't get drafted, averaged better than him, and he started. I'm just saying.
Yeah, DJ Burns is a center though, and he would have got abused in pick and roll coverages, space in the spacing of this game, isolating him. He wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have saw the floor. Like I'm gonna give you a name, Sean May. Sean May was better than him, leaps and bounds, and he didn't even last in the league. Tyler Hansborough was better than him, DJ Burns, and he was a role player. You know what I'm saying? Like, so DJ Burns would not have I don't think he would have lasted.
Tyler was an undersized center too in the league.
Yeah, he was actually running PF in Indiana. He ran PF with Roy Hibbert and David West. He backed up David West, I think. You know what I'm saying? So so I mean
that was his best years. That was
Pacers with Indiana. With Indiana, that was his best years for sure. Yeah, I just think that it's all overblown, man. Like I just feel like people not being honest, not you or Jermaine, but like people not being honest with this rhetoric, bro. It's only a big deal because of LeBron James' son. People only dislike the move because it's LeBron James' son. Like I really feel that way.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It could be if it was Kevin Durant's son or Steph Curry's son, I don't think nobody would have an issue with it, bro. It's because it's LeBron James, bro. Like that's what it is, man. I just don't think people like the dude, bro, and that's what it comes down to that.
So for me, I am not the biggest LeBron fan. I have to love him because he has that jersey on.
Well, you're a real Lakers fan. I respect that. Some people now root for. I know people that claim to have been Lakers fans who were rooting advocating for the Boston Celtics to win the championship. So I call those people Kobe. I call those people Kobe only Lakers fans. They're Kobe only Lakers fans. They're not real Lakers fans.
Ask Jermaine how that show went right after they won, brother. Let me tell you something. It pained me to congratulate them. Pain. The fact that they got one more championship than us now, like I can't talk shit to Boston Celtics fans no more. Like at least we were tied, so I can talk, and they still the only fans that can talk.
You should start from your lifetime, man. You should start. If you start from your lifetime, it's not even close. They won 2. Y'all won 5, 6. Yeah. So it's not even all the rings from the 50s and 60s, man. Like, no, I'm cool. Yeah, like let's talk about
I'm a Yankee fan also, so it's like
oh man,
I hate Dallas though.
And you a Cowboys fan?
Hell no.
Okay. I thought you was about to do Lakers, Yankees, and Cowboys. I thought you was
I'm a Duke fan. I'm a Duke fan.
Oh, and Duke. Oh
my
God.
I'm gonna premise it. I'm a fan of every team that my grandfather was a fan of. So he was an Eagles fan. He was a Laker. He was a Yankee, Duke, like he old school. So like, yeah, I could never love Dallas. There's pictures out here that I'll never show to people except for like a couple people that have seen them. That my mama put Dallas stuff on me before I had my own mind. I tried to burn them, but it's too many pictures and I can't get rid of them. So
I've seen the pics. They do exist. He is not bullshit.
Well, for me, it's easy for me, man. If Houston got a team, that's my team. That's easy for me. It's easy for me.
I respect that.
But yeah, man. But my bad. I didn't mean to hijack it. I just respect I respect the consistency of your argument. You know what I'm saying? You consistent from argument to argument, and I respect that. I just can't respect when people switch up their morals and all that stuff. So that's it.
Bro, and this is the thing. Like I was telling him one time before, I was like, bro, I said you should see the amount of shit that we come across in some of these sports groups on Facebook.
Yeah,
I'm like the amount of 180s that people do in arguments, mid-argument. And I just be scrolling and looking, and I'm just like, bro, are you serious right now? I was like, see, this is why I be a ghost in them groups, and I don't really be saying that because I'm like if we was to just sit here and actually go back and forth and debate, you would be mad at me and you'd be ready to fight me because I would deconstruct your argument because it's so baseless. If your argument has no base, it has nothing to stand on. So everything you build on top of that is bullshit and it's gonna topple easily. So it's like a lot of the times, man, we come across people that say some of the dumbest stuff and they try to stand on it. And it's like, you know, when you watching the kid first trying to walk and they stand up and their legs be wobbly and they be like falling down and they be doing the drunk man. that's what their argument looks like trying to walk. So it's like I don't even go there no more. I'm like, I ain't got time for it. Like,
yeah,
man, I'll never forget. I was in the barbershop one time, and this one my barber knew, like, I just switched from like going back and forth with people. Somebody was saying something, and he going off, like he holding court, like it's the barbershop down there. And I go to the barbershop off Southwest side over off Gessner and West Belford. So yeah,
Houston's finest.
no, phase 2.
Phase 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was just there last Tuesday.
Bro, stop.
I stay 5 minutes away from there. I stay 5. No, I haven't been. That was the first time I had went back there in 20 years, bro. But I know I live 5 minutes down the street from there, from phase 2.
Man, look. All right, so if y'all don't know, me and him in Houston. but no, but like dude going off, right? And I'm just laughing. And my barber looking at me, he like, bro, get him. I get in the chair, and he like, hey, why you didn't want to say nothing? I was like, man, let that man have his fun.
Facts. You got to sometimes.
Let that man have his fun. Let him have his fun. He was like, man, but you could have killed it. You could have. I said, but look at the joy on his face.
That was why I would have said something.
When he was on stage and he performed and he had that audience, look at the joy on that man's face.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm the one that I probably would have said something and killed all.
I say something.
I'm gonna kill all. I can't let you look stupid and sound
if we
wrong.
If we talking barbershop, bro, this is the thing that get me. I'm gonna tell you a barbershop story. So for me, I'm in the barbershop and I go to Houston's Finest, which is like 5 minutes down the street from on Plainfield in West Belford. So I go right there. Yeah. So dude was in the barbershop. It was my barber actually. He was like, yeah, man, you know, they don't make him like Tracy McGrady, man. He was a killer. He was a stone-blooded killer. You know, he did. I'm like, he was like, but Harden, he had no heart. I was like, okay. I said, but McGrady never made it out of round 1. But he ain't had no help. Nah. I don't want to hear. He was a killer.
I mean, he didn't.
He never made it out of round 1. What's the reasoning for him never making it out of round 1? You right, bro. You right. I'm like, dog, I can't let you say bullshit and just get away with it. I can't. Like, if McGrady is a killer, then I said if Harden not a killer, do me one favor. I said compare his second round and conference final stats to Tracy McGrady's. I said compare him. I said it's gonna say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for Tracy McGrady, and it's gonna say a whole bunch. I say even if Harden averaged 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, it's better than McGrady.
It's still better than McGrady.
It's better. So I said, stop with this nonsense, dog. Well, he played Baron Davis. I said, well, Harden played Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, sent them home. He played Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs. He played Damian Lillard. He played Steph Curry. He played Kevin Durant. Like, he played great players too. So if McGrady didn't have enough help to beat Baron Davis, did Harden have enough help to beat Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook with Omer Asik?
Bro,
oh yeah, you right. Like, so I just can't.
This is why I brought him on, Keyz, because I was like, nah, Bryson knows his shit, but he will get petty with it too.
Nah, I just do. I literally look for the worst. I literally just try to dig up the BS because it's a lot of BS, man. Like, you know, it's just
too much.
People watch the game at a elementary level, like you said. Like, people watch the game at an elementary level.
And it's funny because like I was like, I had some people that was like, man, why did they pick this player and why do they do this and blah blah blah. You get some people that get angry about it, and then some people just be inquisitive. They just be like, bro, like, who is this? What do they do? How do they fit? Blah, 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 blah. And I'll never forget, I told him, my homeboy, and he called me when the Knicks picked Kevin Knox out of Kentucky. And I told him, I was like, bro, look, I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I said, he's either going to make you like really happy and you're going to be like, okay, I got basically a 6'8", 6'9" Latrell Sprewell. I said, or you're gonna be ready to kill this dude and get him off your team by year 2 or so.
He was gone by year 2.
Look, I hate when I'm right about shit like that.
And I liked Kevin Knox personally, but I knew he was when it came down to trading him for anybody or trading for anybody, he was gonna be out the door. He definitely was.
Because he was a lottery pick who had a high enough guaranteed salary that okay, this helps match salaries. Get your ass out of here. We trying to bring in so and so, and you just a part of the.
I forgot where they. Is he even still in the league?
I don't think so.
Because I think he's with the Pistons, maybe.
That's what I was about to say.
Let me look it up right quick.
But you know what's crazy? He's just like a lot of those Duke players that have came out in the last.
He with the Warriors.
How long has Zion been in the league?
Zion been in the league since 2019.
So about 4 now, 5.
Yeah.
So everybody before, I'll say the last from 09 to 19, a lot of those Duke big men outside of Nerlens Noel are in the league. So most of them.
Nerlens went to Kentucky, right?
Well, I mean, not Nerlens. Damn. I'm thinking of Philly because I'm thinking because damn near they.
Jahlil Okafor.
Okafor is gone.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not gone. He's out. He's either with the Pistons or he's with Washington. The last time I looked at a roster, yeah.
About to look it up right now. Hold up. Let's see.
If he's not over, how you spell?
Damn, he has not played since 2021.
Yeah, he's not in the league no more. His game.
Okay. Not his last time, the last time he was in the league was with the Pistons.
Yeah, that was his last season. 2020, 2021. The year after the COVID year.
And if you look at a lot of the centers and stuff since then, most of them aren't in the league either, or they're playing for the Pistons also. Mika!
What's up, Mika?
Hold on. Dre said something too that I'm gonna kick his ass. First off, there's never any Agent Zero slander, bro. I may not like everything he say on this pod, and he does say some wild ass shit that just don't make no fucking sense a lot of the fucking time. Like he really be talking like an old nigga. Like he an old nigga. He ain't even an old nigga.
Look,
which is crazy. He be talking like I don't know. Sometimes Gil stuff just be wild, bro.
Gilbert, what's funny is Gilbert was my favorite player. Like when I was like in 2000, when he was going by Hibachi, he was one of the first athletes I ever saw on Twitter, actually. And when he used to be like, I think one night he had tweeted, I think I feel like scoring 50 tonight, and he went out there and like did it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was when they had the black and the gold jerseys.
The
you
Wizards?
Know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the Wizards, that was when they had the black and gold joints.
Yeah,
but
I still have
that. But as I gotten older, I've noticed like he really wasn't, like because he never as a one option, he never got his team past round 1. So it's like to me, that's a big stain for any superstar.
And he was fire. Don't get me wrong, like that gun thing fucked him up. But he went to Orlando. He went to Orlando and was doing his thing, but he still want the same Gil after that. Like then the injuries and stuff, and
the knee debris and all that stuff. Yeah, debris in his knee, all types of stuff. Yeah,
man.
That knee injury really like got him. Oh man, get out of here.
Hey man, Hibachi is. I don't know. Let me tell you something. When he talk, he's like one of the only people that I can say when he talks about Kobe, he talks great. But he the only one that was really giving that nigga problems though. Like it ain't too many people that can literally say on offense and Kobe was on defense, I was really giving him problems. Hibachi is probably one of the only guys that can really talk and say like, hey, nah, Kobe couldn't do shit with me. Like,
he was a bad matchup because he was shorter and quicker. You know what I'm saying? And he still had athleticism. So it's like, oh shoot, how do I guard a twitchy athlete like that? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it was. Gilbert was just real super twitchy and he could score. He wasn't like I can only score at the rim or I can only score from 3. No, he had a whole bag. So it was kind of
3 level. It was a 3 level score.
It was tough to guard.
That was the thing that helped Kobe against Bryson. I know you'll remember this, Steve Francis.
Yep.
Steve couldn't always shoot as well. Gil could shoot. So if Kobe would stop Gil from driving, Gil would pull up and pluck it right in Kobe's face. Steve couldn't do that. He couldn't do that. So when Kobe figured that out, that's how he was able to bother Steve more than he could bother. Coutinho gave Steve more problems, gave Kobe more problems than Steve did.
Coutinho was,
when he was here.
That was a long time. I remember watching those games, but I don't really remember watching them no more as I got older.
Old, bro.
I didn't watch so much basketball. It's like
I don't even feel 37 right. It's crazy because I don't even feel 37 right now. Thinking back to that shit, I'm like, damn, I was a kid then, but I can.
Y'all both older than me.
Hey man, shalom. I definitely remember. I remember all of that though. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were having a conversation about like what is like, in your opinion, the best era of basketball since you've been alive. Like
right
not just
now to me.
Think it's now.
Right now, yeah, I think the talent. Like I remember. Like this is my thing with nostalgia. Is like you watch these guys. Like we could talk about Michael Redd, Gilbert Arenas, Steve Francis, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, all these guys, right? But really, out of a few of those names, some accomplished something. A lot of them didn't. We just remember their highlights and how saucy they was with everything. But when it comes to actually accomplishing what we hold guys to the standard to today, what did they do?
Yeah,
we were just younger. We were kids, so we appreciated it. We enjoyed the game from a purer level. Now it's about results. Now it don't matter. You can score 40 a night. People are gonna say, but you can't win a championship, though. That's what people are gonna say. Back then, Allen Iverson could average 37 on 34 shots, and people was like, "Oh my god!" Like
he was
cooking.
Exactly.
But that's what I was about to say. Like, I think for me, like that 2000 to 2010, like that was that time because you had young Bron and them coming in. You had like Kobe and them were just getting into their gear in a sense because they came in '96. So that was when the Lakers started winning in 2000. Bron and them come in 03. Like that 2000, 2010 era was.
You had a nice overlapping of eras.
Yeah, you had the goat, the future goats that were coming in.
You still had guys playing in that 2000 to 2010, and this is why I'll give that argument some credence because in that era between 2000, 2009, 10, whatever you want to call it, you still had guys that played against like Michael and Magic and Larry and Kareem and them.
Yep.
But then you also had guys who were passing the baton off to the LeBrons, KDs, D Wades, and so on and so forth. So you had like this amalgamation in that decade right then and there of some of the best players from the modern golden era of basketball, 80s, 90s. And then you had the new era that's taking us into where we at now, and they getting ready to retire now. So it was like that decade crossed a lot of eras. And if you
let me ask
that era, it crossed a lot.
Can I ask both of y'all a question actually? So we're talking about the older era, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a legitimate question. I just want to know y'all opinion. Devin Booker or Michael Redd? Jaylen Brown or Brandon Roy?
Jaylen Brown.
Brandon Roy.
See, you see what I'm saying? It's to me, I'm gonna say Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? But
other one,
Brandon Roy.
I might go.
What? You gonna go with Devin?
I might go. Devin. Yeah, but I love Michael. Man. Michael Redd was smooth though.
See, the reason why I think I may give Devin Booker the advantage is because Devin Booker is more athletic than Michael Redd was. Michael Redd could get to the hoop and he could score on all three levels, but not like Devin Booker can scoring driving to the goal. Because Booker will dunk on you. He will he got bunnies.
Yeah.
Redd didn't have bunnies like that. he couldn't finish like that.
That's like a lot of people who talk Ray Allen. They talk about the shooter. They don't talk about the nigga that was going.
They don't remember the Ray
he was
Allen
putting
that
them nuts
competed
in
in
your
the
face.
dunk contest and 3-point contest on the same All-Star weekend.
They
Okay,
don't talk
but Ray
about
Allen. Okay, so again, this is where I get back to the results effort, right? So Ray Allen, and from the moment he was drafted until pre-Boston Celtics trade, one Eastern Conference Finals appearance in that entire span. So is that a product of him not being good enough and we not remembering because it was the better part of our lives as we were kids and we tied that part of our life in with good moments? Or did he not have the necessary pieces to get there? Because for me, I find myself tussling with that. He was a lost person in Seattle. They had, I think, one playoff appearance. One playoff appearance, maybe two. No playoff series wins. Yet, when you talk about the way y'all just talked about him, it's like, oh, he was this super hooper, which he was. I'm not saying he wasn't.
No, he definitely was.
It's like,
I see what you're saying.
Really did he? You know what I'm saying? And now when we talk about guys like Damian Lillard, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, who else? Luka Doncic. Anybody that does not have a championship but has gotten close and like failed, their name is so much smut on their name. But when we talk about like Ray Allen, who didn't do, in my opinion, half of what those guys did in their career, it's so much praise and wide eyes. You know what I mean? That's one of the conversations I always like to have.
But I think
I put it to you like this: in his 11 seasons before he got to Boston, he made the playoffs 4 times.
4 times in 11 seasons. Kevin Garnett in Minnesota, that's probably around the same amount of time. I think the one time he made the playoffs, they went to the conference finals.
Yeah,
and that was it.
He only made the playoffs.
We talk about KG
before he got to Boston.
But KG was top.
This is where the difference comes in. That this is where the difference comes in. At when we compare teammates, okay, and what I look at when I get asked a question like that, I go back and I actually do a deep dive and I look at, okay, let me look at that year, that team, who made all-star teams, who are all NBA performers, either first, second, or third team. Did they even make an all defensive all NBA team? Because you may not make all NBA, but you may make all defensive team. Like, there's an argument to be constructed in that, but you have to do the research and do the deep dive and look at who was he really playing with. You can't look at their stats and say, okay, this person averaged 20 and 10.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Somebody got to average 20 and 10.
I agree with that. I agree with you there.
Somebody got to average 20 and 10.
But when I look back, when you look back at that Milwaukee team, who he had? Sam Cassell, Michael Redd, Ray Allen.
No. You're talking about Minnesota, right? So if you're talking about Minnesota with Kevin Garnett, or you talking about Milwaukee with
Ray Allen?
Oh, you talking about with Ray Allen? Oh, he had Glenn Robinson. He had Glenn Robinson. I think he had Irving.
Okay, early on he had Vin Baker.
Oh yeah, Vin was. And it's crazy. We hear these names, and
he had Vin Baker and Glenn Robinson.
And during that time, those names, which is crazy, because if you say that to people now, they be like Glenn Robinson and Vin Baker, that. But during that time, they were dogs. It was like, it's so tough because it kind of, so it goes back to LeBron and them making it to the finals with that team, that first team in Cleveland. And everybody's like, well, he had no help. He was young LeBron and da-da-da. But when you look at who he had, the niggas was good. He had really, I think they needed that extra person, though. They were missing that one more star. And it might have been a big man to me, because Duncan and them also were just, that San Antonio team was just on another level altogether, from top to bottom, coaching, from center down to point guard, the bench, it was all together. So I don't think it was.
I think whoever came out the East was losing regardless.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
It was just like 2001 in 02, 03 with the Lakers. When the Lakers was three-peating, it didn't matter who came out, they were losing. You know, if you look at that Cavs team, that Cavs team was 50-32. That was the second seed in the East. Like that wasn't no great team in the Western Conference. They might not have made the playoffs that season if that with that same record in the West. But you know, somebody got to get there out East. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't. Yeah, it just happened to be the Cavs, and they got swept. My thing is, to me, the reason why it don't matter because he was 22 in his fourth season.
Exactly.
He was supposed to be a senior in college. Like, so it doesn't. To me, it's like I don't care. It doesn't. I don't put it against his ledger as a great player because I'm like, bro, you was 22. You wasn't supposed to be there. You had Eric Snow, you had Daniel Gibson, Danielle Marshall, Drew Gooden. You had a good team. Don't get me wrong; those are not bad players. But in comparison to Tony Parker, first ballot Hall of Fame, Manu Ginobili, first ballot Hall of Fame, Tim Duncan, first ballot Hall of Fame, you wasn't playing with no Hall of Famers. You feel what I'm saying?
Hall of Fame coach.
Hall of Fame coach, all that. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree.
It's just a lot of I only want to get into that. But yes, we stand on topic. So like 2007, like you say, he was not. I don't hold it against him because he was 22, bro. Like he's 22. He's the same age. Everybody love Anthony Edwards, who went to the conference finals. He had Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, Mike Conley. LeBron didn't have nobody on that level on that 2007 squad. He was
still
22.
mad. Minnesota shouldn't have lost to Dallas.
Oh, I picked them, so I had a whole bunch of egg on my face, but I did too.
I did too.
A lot of people doubted that they would even go to the conference finals, so
which is crazy because when the season started, I was like, nah, this that year.
I saw it
early.
They played Boston earlier last season. It was in December or January. They played Boston and they had beat Boston, and they was one of the few teams that had beat Boston. And that was the game when I think Anthony Edwards had ripped Jason Tatum in overtime, and that was the game where I was like, oh yeah, Minnesota gonna probably go to the finals because I was like, look at how they match up with Boston. And I said that I had no idea Dallas was coming like that though.
I had said coming into this season, I felt like coming out of the West, Minnesota to me was the most complete team, especially after what we saw the previous year and how they were running through everybody. And then they got to Denver, I felt like this year they were going to be even more of a matchup nightmare with Denver. And this is before any games were played. And that's exactly what they were.
They gave, even though they lost in 5 last year, the year that Jokic won the championship, the Nuggets won the championship, even though they lost in 5, regardless of that, they gave them their toughest series. And they didn't have Jaden McDaniels and they didn't have Naz Reid. So when I saw that, I paid attention to that because I was like, like they gave them boys a lot of, problems, and Denver was good, and Minnesota was missing 2 key pieces. So I was like, well, what happens if they wasn't missing Jaden McDaniels? What happens if they wasn't missing Naz Reid? So this year, that's why I was like, that's probably the only team that could beat Denver in the series. And sure enough,
they're the only team
that could beat them, you know what I'm saying? So
and I think they just ran out of gas when they got the Dallas
experience too, bro. Experience.
Yeah. And I mean, as much as people don't like to say it, Luka and Kyrie together is nasty. Like for me personally, I think it is. I think
I agree with
1-2.
You. I agree with you.
It's a nasty 1-2. Dallas is just missing something else also, which I think they just picked up this week, and we'll touch on that. But I think they missing a third scorer, and they have that now.
One last thing that I will say. So with the Dallas Mavericks, their route to the finals was not easy. I'm not saying it was easy, but if you look at who they played, the Clippers didn't have Kawhi. Nope. We knew Paul George and James Harden was not going to beat Luka Doncic and Kyrie. Like, come on, bro. Paul George didn't even average 20 points per game that series. Like, we knew that.
They don't even like
Exactly. Then and then they beat OKC in the second round. Well, who did OKC beat in the first round? A Pelicans team with no Zion. So I'm not really whatever. Then when you get to the conference finals, that's where I thought they would lose. But Anthony Edwards played like shit. Karl Anthony Towns played like shit. And the game still was close. Like the first 3 games of that series wasn't decided by more than double digits. You know what I'm saying? So it was all close, despite Anthony Edwards and Cat playing like shit. So when I saw that and they was going to that series against Boston, I said they about to lose because I like Jason Tatum and Brown not gonna play as bad as Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards did. Jason Tatum said, "Watch this." He tried to, but his team was just too good. You know what I'm saying? He had too many good pieces.
No, I agree.
The funniest thing was looking at how close those games were, even though that series got blown apart, it reminded me of that World Series when the Astros lost to the White Sox in 05. It was a sweep. But if you add the run differential, I think it was decided by like 8 runs or 7 runs or something like that. Even though the White Sox won 4-0 and they swept the Astros, or it was like 4-1, something like that. They only won by a combined 7 or 8 runs. There was only one game that was decided by more than 2 runs. I think it was like game 3. And that's just how close of a series that was, even though it looked lopsided in the decision. It was close because those teams were so matched well together. And that's what happened in that Dallas-Minnesota series. It was like, if you just flip one thing here or there, that series has a total different outcome.
Oh, man. It was 2 turnovers. Jaden McDaniels in game 1, literally, when the game, they had control, he just threw it to Luka. Like, just threw it to him. And then game 2, Anthony Edwards had Mike Conley wide open, pump faked it, did it something else, and then threw it to Naz Reid, turned it over, and then Luka hit that shot. So it was 2 at that point. That's when I started rooting for the Mavericks because I was pissed. I was like, man, this I want this to be over, bro. Like, but at that point, like, you could just see like the experience that Dallas had because Dallas had been there 2022 before. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that loss is going to make Minnesota just stronger going forward. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. You know, I'm not too sure.
So let me ask y'all something. It's a total hypothetical, of course, but if Minnesota had made it to the finals, is that a different finals or a same result?
I think it's the same result because I think that Minnesota still, that inexperience is going to show up somewhere. If it don't show up in the conference finals, it's showing up in the finals because the way that they played in the Western Conference Finals, it just looked like they thought that beating Denver was done. They were done. And the Celtics, the loss that they sustained in 2022, I think built that character and that experience up, and that was it.
I really think it's also taken Tatum and Brown not just to gel together as a unit, but for them to both trust in their teammates as playmakers. Because you can see at different points in the game where they will trust each other, but those two may not necessarily trust their teammates. And now, not only do they have help, plenty, I mean, like all NBA level help on the defensive end, they have that same help on the offensive end as well. So it's like there's a lot of the scoring and playmaking pressure that's been taken off of them on the offensive end. And then there's been even more pressure taken off of them on the defensive end. So it's like they've had pressure taken off of them on both sides of the ball. And the chemistry that they've built with those guys that they've brought in and the different pieces that they've, interchanged and whatnot. I just think that they've grown to a point where in their careers as individuals that they've gotten good, and then they got the right guys around them finally. Because
I think that part right there is the key. They finally have the right cast around them too. Exactly. You bring in the Porzingis, you bring in the Derek White, you bring in
Drew Holiday.
Like
Xavier Tillman was a good signing.
Man, everybody that they brought in, and I think Porzingis was the biggest key to that.
That was the biggest key.
I loved it in the offseason when he came. I said that. I was like, that was a game changer for them. As long as he can play like he did with the Knicks, which he has, I said that's going to be the key to their future right there. Those three. Because having the right big man that can shoot, that can rebound, that can play defense, that can play for the 3 down as far as defense, like a 3-level defensive player also, that's what the key was. In game 1, he came out firing. Like,
but you know what you know what I like about him though, and what he presented to them, their offense always gets sticky between Jalen and Jason. Because they have the same type of game. They're both not great playmakers, and they're both ISO wings that like to shoot a ton of jump shots. What Porzingis offered is a middle option, of somebody that plays completely different from them that can score the ball. That's what you need. You can't have, like, if they would have added, for example, just gonna throw this name out, DeMar DeRozan, it wouldn't have meant anything because he does the same exact thing that they do. So now you just got 3 guys that do the same thing. And so when you're scoring, you go on them droughts, you just gonna keep going because none of them gonna try to get to the basket. They all gonna do they step, hezzy tween, all that stuff. Porzingis, middle option, give me the ball, pull up. I can pull up from 3, I can pull up from midi. I'm 7'3, I can shoot over anybody. Like mismatch nightmare. That's what it was. That's what I loved about the trade. For real, for real.
Nah, I did too. And again, I hate that it was the Celtics. Pissed me off. But you know, if it's gonna be anybody, I guess it still should have been somebody else.
I didn't want the I didn't want the Mavericks to win though. A lot of their fans are obnoxious, and with the Luka stuff, it just be like crazy. I like Luka. I like Luka. That's the thing. Like, I'm a rare Houston fan. Like, I don't spend all my life hating on Dallas. Like, I don't care that much. Like, I really don't. Like, but a lot of people do, and it's like, damn. Sometimes y'all make somebody hate Dallas. Like, y'all will make somebody hate Luka
because they make it their identity.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, it's only one Dallas team I hate, and that's that stupid ass star. So that's
the Rangers.
No, the Cowboys. Hate that.
I don't like the Rangers. I don't like the Rangers. That's the one team. If you want me to
well,
on Dallas,
technically,
team,
I do hate the Rangers too. I really hate and Astros actually. Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, that's deservingly so. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan. We know how that's been going.
Oh, okay. He's been kicking y'all ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
hey, my favorite meme.
I'm waiting for y'all to bring the comments back. Shit.
My favorite meme about all of that is that one pic where they transpose Altuve and Aaron Judge's size when Altuve was on or Judge was on second base, and they made Altuve bigger than Judge.
I can't even say that because I have to premise this with Mika is like the only Dallas fan that I know.
Yeah.
She's the only
that's
one.
Like one of the that's our favorite our favorite Cowboy fan.
Like she really is the only one I can stand. And I got family members that during football season I hate them. She's the only one I can talk to during football season because she logically her and Los. Who?
Her and Fam from Black Wrestling.
I can't talk to Fam either. Me and Fam got into it on Discord today. We done already started in football season, ain't even really got in the swing yet, and we already going back and forth. Mika and Los are probably the only two that I can logically talk to.
Yeah, Los.
Because they look at their team from a different angle than most Cowboy fans. Like their critique, they're like how I am with the Lakers and with my teams, like. And I'm like that with the Eagles too. I already told you about this season, and we'll again close to the football season. I'll touch on it again. With the moves we've made, it's Super Bowl or bust. You bring in Saquon, you move all these different pieces. It's Super Bowl or bust now. That's how I feel. So like I critique different, just like they do. So, and same thing with the Lakers. I've been very hard on us also. So
the Lakers just. It's
we ain't getting another championship until after Braun.
Hey,
and I'm fine with that.
You said until what?
Until after Braun is gone. During whatever that rebuild is gonna look like, that's when we'll get another one.
The blueprint is out there, man. You got to draft and develop. That's the blueprint. All this star chasing, all this stuff, bro. I'm gonna tell you,
bro. I will say if we can figure out how to bring in DeRozan, I think DeRozan. I think he has enough left going forward to build around.
He's not gonna want to come off the bench. He should come off the bench if he goes there.
Think so?
I think so. Because he doesn't shoot the three. All the Lakers want to do in their starting lineup is have floor spacing for the LeBron and AD pick and roll. You got to have that stuff. DeRozan don't like to shoot the three.
That's our problem. But I like Neck. We were talking about it on draft night. I think Neck is just another. I think he's a little better Austin Reeves in a sense and taller, but he's going to be interesting the next few years too. I think he's going to be like Austin, where he can come in right away and make a slight impact. I think it just depends on what we're doing with D'Angelo Russell, of course, and how that move is going to go. I think we're pretty much going to trade him out, but it's if we're sending him back to the Nets, I think that's the whole thing they're waiting on. Is DeRozan seems like he's the option that's coming in, but now what do you do at point guard? Because if you're getting rid of D'Lo, are you getting something back from the Nets at point guard? Are you
I
looking at
read
a
something.
again?
I apologize. Let me cut you off, but I
No, you're
read
fine.
something about DeRozan didn't want to take the mid-level exception. He wants to try to get more money. Now things can change, but I read that literally today. It was like a whole thing. I also read something that was quite alarming. They said you can go with his past 3 seasons in Chicago. You can go back to his past, I think 2 or 3 in San Antonio. And they said that in all of those seasons, the team's defense was better with him off the floor than with him on it. Chicago and San Antonio. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, ooh, like that was a stat that I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? I screenshotted it because I was so shocked. It says in the 20 says he was dead last behind Giannis Antetokounmpo in 3-point attempts and amongst players that shoot like a certain amount of field goals or whatever. And he had a negative defensive estimated plus minus in 4 of the last 5 years. He's never had a positive one. And if you wanted to find his last one where the defense was good with him on the floor, you would have to go back to the Raptors in 2014, 2015.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Bro,
It's crazy.
But see, that's why I love when you present all of the whole full spectrum of it.
It makes you think because it's like, damn.
You can't just key in on one little thing. You got to look at the full spectrum of it, because too many times I think what fans, especially in basketball, they'll see one little thing that a guy does. Oh,
prisoner of the moment.
He shoots the 3 at such and such percentage. Okay, but can he defend? How is he with spatial awareness, knowing like, okay, here's where I need to get my shots off. Here's where I'm better shooting. Is he a playmaker? Is he a suitable defender? You know, can I trust him to bring the ball up the court? You know, different things like that. So like you have to look at more than just that one little aspect of their game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That's actually one of the main things that I brought up about Carmelo Anthony when he was on the Rockets. And a lot of people just was like, hezzy, tween, he shoot the midi. And I was like, bro, like when he's on the floor, teams are literally pointing him out in our switch everything defensive scheme. And they are always been like that with him over and over and over again. But y'all see him hit a 3 and do this, and y'all get horny. Like, stop, like, it's like, yeah, you gotta pay attention to basketball, like beyond that. And
but that was the whole thing with Melo, was that you gonna get what you need on offense, but on defense he gonna be a liability.
Yeah,
like you definitely gonna get it on. He gonna give you the numbers on offense, but it's like I always felt like on a team you gonna have that guy that on offense he gonna give you exactly what you need, 20, 30, 40, whatever. But you have to put everything around him correctly to know that he's going to be a liability on defense. So the rest of your defense got to be solid to keep everybody else from scoring, because whoever's on him, they're going to get their numbers. They're going to get off because he's more lax and using less energy on defense to give you what you need from him on offense. So it's a tough one. So, all right. So with that, because y'all are numbers guys, so this is better for y'all than me. I hate numbers. Zach LaVine. Is he dead? Is he gonna die in Chicago? Because once his contract's up, you think he's gonna get moved?
I think he'll be moved. I don't know when.
Is it gonna be a contending team, or is it gonna
be Sacramento might do something. I think Sacramento, if they get desperate enough, they're gonna make a trade for either him or Brandon Ingram. I really do think that. I think
like the Ingram move better.
I really don't. I think both of them are. I would personally, even though I'm not a big fan of him, I would prefer LaVine, because LaVine is just a better 3-point shooter, and he's more electric. He's more electric. Ingram is, even though they both injury prone, I'm not a fan of the way Ingram plays basketball. Like, I haven't really liked the way he plays since 2021 against the Suns in the playoffs.
Okay.
That was like the best version of Ingram that I ever saw. I was actually a fan of that Ingram, and I thought he would take a step off of that, but he hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And
because he was attacking the basket.
Yeah, he was attacking the basket. He was shooting the mid range. He was just cooking. Like I like that version of him. And but I like Levine's pop more with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. And I'm really not a fan of Harrison Barnes. So if they can get off of him, like I would have them have Zach LaVine, Fox, and Sabonis.
Niggas talk about players that run off with the bag and somehow keep getting these contracts. Harrison Barnes is one of them. I'm with you on that. Harrison Barnes is one of them guys. Like, how the fuck is this nigga still in the league? This nigga is
getting paid.
Rich.
Yeah.
He is Sam Bradford, bro. He somehow he talks these teams into giving him hella money.
Him and Tobias Harris.
Yeah, Tobias too. Tobias enough. But Harrison Barnes, my thing with him is just he don't like for a 3-and-D guy. He not even like he don't. I think people like his professionalism and his leadership and like work ethic, but like on the court,
that'll get you far in the league. I mean,
yeah, it will. But like
Chris
he a
Paul.
dark-skinned Jared Dudley. Like I just don't really. I'm not a fan of dude, man. I'm really not a fan of dude. Like just to be honest with you, bro, I'm not. Like,
I've never been a fan of him either. For real,
I watched them in that Golden State series. I'm like, dog, do something. Do something. It's the team that traded you. Like, do something. He didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
he honestly ain't really been shit since then. Because even when he got to Dallas, he wasn't doing a lot. That's why Dallas sent his ass to Sacramento. He was supposed to go to Sacramento to die, and somehow the man he swam.
Yeah,
he was supposed to drown.
Yeah, he did. But I think that when
niggas send you to nigga like Poole got sent to Washington as punishment and to die, and he's dead. He's pretty much dead right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Shit, they gonna pay me $30 million. I go.
Let me tell you something. I go to Washington. I actually like Washington this year.
And I ain't got to play winning basketball. I can just throw up bullshit on a nightly basis. Oh man,
we're not expected to win. I can just go out here and just playground hoop.
No, it was actually 35 because it was 4 years for 140.
I'm cool. I'm doing that. I'm staying there. I'm hooping every night.
I like Washington team this year. They're gonna be tough because they have they got a lot of height and length. Like they point guard is like 6'4", 6'5". They starting point guard gonna be
the one
like,
for France.
Okay. They smallest player is like 6'4", 6'5" in the starting lineup. And like they're gonna be long and be able to defend. They still gonna lose, but they're gonna make it look good. Right, put me out for 35 mil? Sure.
Look.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think too many people gonna take a chance on Levine though. It's just I don't know. It's something about these players have been getting to Chicago lately, and just everything has been going down. Somehow Valanciunas had to leave to get more. You know what I mean? To look better, to go get more money. Or not Valanciunas. Vucevic. Yeah,
he's still in Chicago though, right?
I believe he's a free agent this year, but I think this might be the last year of his contract.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I think what ruined Chicago, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I really liked that team when they had Lonzo. When he got hurt, that ruined their whole team. He was a real point guard. He could shoot the three. He could defend. He was a great point of attack defender. But you know that when he got hurt, that it kind of made DeRozan and Levine have to be point guards. And they not.
Yeah, he is still there. He's still there. I like their team. I'm looking at the roster right now, though. This isn't bad. I mean, it's
not bad.
They drafted Bazulis. Lonzo might play this season. He's still.
I don't think Lonzo's. I think that's not updated because they still got Caruso on the roster too.
He got cleared.
Well, no. The one I got is the updated one because it's got Josh Giddey on there.
Oh, so they didn't trade Lonzo. It was just Caruso for Giddey.
Yeah, it was just Caruso for Giddey. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
so the one I'm looking at is updated as of right now. So it's got Kobe White still, who is he's in the last year of his contract this year. Vucevic, Jalen Smith, Zach LaVine, Javonte Green, hometown kid, gotta love him. Josh Giddey. I think that Giddey move is good too. I think depending on what pieces they get back for DeRozan or Zach, if they're able to move both or either one, it's gonna be key. It's definitely a nice rebuild. I think drafting Bazulis was amazing for them. And if Lonzo can come back and be even 80% of what he was, because it's going to take him a minute. He's kind of going through that Clay thing where it's going to take him about a season or two to get his full footing back, in a sense, like game footing. But
he gonna have to. He on an expiring contract, so he gonna have to ball
yeah,
out this year. He
he
can't
got to.
come back
They've
slowly. He
been
gonna have
they've
to.
been they've been paying. You know, I mean, he been getting paid the whole time, but it's kind of in that Clay thing where it's like you gotta. It's gonna take you a minute because those injuries were so serious. So it's gonna be a beautiful season this year, man. I love all the moves that were made. Like that Philly move with PG, I think put them, in my opinion, put them second in the behind Boston. I think they're still behind Boston. But I definitely think it puts
Really?
them up. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even with PG, for me, it still puts them behind Boston.
I got them behind New York and Indiana and Boston, of course. I got them fourth.
I like New York move, but I don't know. You think Mikal? I don't know.
OG Anunoby was defending Joel Embiid pretty well in the postseason,
and they didn't really give up anything to get Mikal either.
Mikal.
That's the other part of it.
They gave up Bogdanovich and picks. That was it.
But is them losing Hardenstein?
Them losing Hardenstein hurt. That hurt. That hurt. But they couldn't pay him $29 million a year. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't pay him $29 million a year. So, but
is that what he was? Is that what Backstage was talking about? Losing Hardenstein?
That's exactly what we were talking about.
Okay. Because I meant to ask him like, what was he talking about with center? But yeah, losing Hardenstein was huge for them. But I don't know. The East is pretty. I think
I don't believe in Paul George at all, bro. I just told you the man averaged 19 and a half points against the Mavericks. Everybody talks about the one with the beard flaming out. The dude didn't average 20 points per game, and he got $53 million a year. Bro, he's gonna go there. He's either gonna flame out. He's either gonna flame out or he's gonna be hurt. I see the future. Him and Joel Embiid might be hurt. It's gonna be Tyrese Maxey out there by himself again,
on an island,
earning his check
on a damn island.
You know what I'm saying? So
his bird rights was $72 million, but OKC overpaid to get him. I mean, OKC can do that because I think he's gonna be great with OKC.
Yeah, he's gonna be a great for them. I love their offseason.
They young that team. And we said that last year though, when we looked at it, how the younger teams were looking better during the regular season, but once it got close to the playoff time and into the playoffs, the vet teams were the ones that were going to look better. Outside of the Suns, I think the Suns just couldn't gel. That's all it is. It might be an early point to blow them up. You got three players that are ball dominant or have always been ball dominant separately, and you bring them together with one ball with no point guard.
None of them can create. Yeah, none of them.
No point guard. I think Chris Paul going back to the Suns would have been perfect for them because they need a. Only reason I say is because they need a point guard if he can stay healthy.
He ball dominant too.
Yeah, but he's a ball dominant point. Like I don't
for sure.
I don't need you to score. I need you to pass. That with that type of team,
Bill gonna be cool shooting off the catch a million times a game. It's KD and Booker gonna be cool doing that.
That's the other problem
because they want a hezzy tween. They want.
It's like one of them has to go, and it's like that's Devin's team. Devin's there. He's solid in my opinion. I think it eventually you're gonna end up having to move Bill or KD. And I think you get more back. You get, and I was gonna say that.
Bill.
It's not even that. I think is
Bill got no trade clause.
Yeah, and I think KD also you get more value back for because it's KD. It's the name. You know what I mean? It's the money. It's not what he's gonna do on the court. It's the ticket sales. It's the merch. It's the money that comes in with bringing him to the team more or less than the production that you're gonna get on the floor. So. Because you're gonna get the production anyway. Because KD is still a dog. When he on the court, he easily 25 to 30.
Why do you have Philly as the second best team behind Boston?
I got Indiana third.
Mm. So you got
I
the Knicks
got
fourth.
With these offseason
Wow.
moves, I don't know.
NBA
I think that Hardenstein move is bigger than a lot of people are looking at for them.
No, it's a huge blow. I'm not
And I don't
gonna
believe
sit here
in
and
I
try
don't
to
believe in
belittle that.
Milwaukee at all because
No, I don't believe in it.
we've talked about this. Their head coach is the worst. Hey, while you here, let's talk. I like how you talk. Let me ask you something. Prior to this man getting this Celtics job and getting these championships with the Celtics, he really won't shit as a coach, right?
No, he wasn't.
He gets the championships with the Celtics, and he gets the Clippers job based off of that. Gets the Clippers, and he has to go through the whole thing with the scandal and with the owner, which was tough to play through because that was a lot. As I'm watching the series, I'm now seeing like that was a lot to coach through, and I look at him a little different, but still with that team you had, it is no way y'all weren't in the Western Finals, in the finals at least with that damn Clippers team.
This is where I'm gonna shoot him a little bit of bail, just a little bit. That team never really had the wings that they needed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna say it's all on Doc in terms of blowing a 3-1 lead. I would give him a large piece of the blame pie, but Chris Paul was on that floor, Blake Griffin was on that floor, and they also blew that 3-1 lead. And I just don't think that the team, looking back, that team was not built in the right way that it needed to be built, in my opinion. It was never going to win a championship with DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin in the front court. It was never going to win a championship. And with Matt Barnes and who else they had on the fucking wing? I don't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even know all these years. Like, they had Jamal Crawford coming off the bench. Yep. Like, I don't think that team was ever gonna. They were never put in the best position. They did blow the 3-1 lead to Houston, which I'm thankful for. But other than that, but Doc Rivers is overrated to me. He's been overrated.
That's pretty much what I was getting at.
Yeah, like, I've always felt like he's overrated. I don't know why
he's living off of the Boston because and that was my thing, was like, just like most players, it's the name, is who they are as a coach or a player or whatever, and he's living off of just that. The Boston years have gotten him job after job. And then even with Milwaukee, it's kind of like Doc out there. Damn, who else out here? We need a coach.
I think he's a nice guy more than anything. I think people like him.
I would probably put him on my
because I don't think people can keep running back to a ring from before Barack Obama was in president office.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You running back to that ring.
Now, would I put him on my staff? I definitely would put him on my coaching staff. Like, I would definitely make him my number, maybe 3, probably my number 3 coach, maybe 2, depending on who I got. I'll put him on the staff, though. He definitely is on my coaching staff. If I'm a head coach, he's the kind of coach I would want in there, though.
How did Doc ruin Tracy McGrady's career?
Ooh.
Hey, that's a Knicks fan that's saying that.
I don't know how. I
thought injuries ruined T-Mac. I ain't really think it was coaching or nothing. Hold on.
Not in Orlando.
And then CP3 got ruined because, honestly, I think it was just staying in New Orleans too long, and it was the league blocking that trade to LA. And after that, he really won't. I don't know if it was a mental thing, because even with the Clippers, he was hooping, but I think it was a mental thing. Like, after that, in my opinion.
You know what I think the Clippers should have did back then? They should have traded Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. Russell Westbrook should have went to the Clippers, and Chris Paul should have went to the Thunder, because the biggest problem for the Thunder was Russell Westbrook always shooting dumb shots and having low IQ and clutch moments, which is not Chris Paul's problem. And the biggest problem with the Clippers was not having enough scoring at the point guard position. Like, which is what Russell Westbrook did.
That would have been a crazy.
That trade should have been.
That probably would have worked,
because that was when KD and Harden were still with.
No. Harden was going after 2000. I'm talking about 2013, 2014, 2013, 2014. I'm talking about those 2 seasons. Harden was
Okay,
going
okay.
to the
You
finals.
talking
He was
about
used
them
to
seasons
2012.
instead of OKC being up 3-1 on the Warriors and then blowing that lead, had they had Chris Paul instead of Westbrook, they wouldn't have blew that 3-1 lead.
I agree with that.
Because if
I
you
ain't gonna
think
blame.
back,
I ain't gonna blame Russell Westbrook for them blowing that 3-1 lead. Go look at KD's numbers. KD was playing like shit, and nobody brings that up.
but look, no, this I brought that up when he first went to Golden State because I was like, it's ironic that you blew a 3-1 lead to this team. They beat you, they're going to the finals. They going to the finals. They blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
To LeBron.
Yeah.
And then what's the first thing they do? They call you and be like, hey, bro, look. I know we got you in the playoffs and everything, but look, he got us. So the only way I figure we can make this right is if we join forces and we try to stop this nigga. Because right now, if we don't join forces, he about to be Thanos on all of us, and he about to kill all of us.
I disagree with that so much. I disagree with that narrative so much.
No, I'm look.
Oh, you just saying how they said it. You just saying the conversation they potentially.
That is the only black spot
Right.
I feel like is on KD's career is going. Even though that he got a championship, I think it's a black spot.
Yeah, he can have no championships for all I care. Them rings don't mean shit to me. I don't care. That's why he feel the way he feel now, because he know it's empty. That shit is Cuba Zirconia. That's what it is. It's not it's not real.
Because if he would have went and got one somewhere else afterwards, then it's different. But it's like, bro, they kicked y'all ass. And instead of you staying there, so that way next year y'all figure it out and beat their ass, you go join with the niggas. Like,
but I ain't even tripping on him. I'm not even tripping on that him staying there. He didn't have to stay in OKC. He could have went to play with Kawhi. He could have went to play with Harden. He could have went to play with Dame. He could have went to go play with any other super John Wall and Bill.
The other rumor was that him and Melo was supposed to click up in New York.
He could have went to New York.
Yeah, the New York
to the team that beat him. I didn't care that he left. I didn't care. I wanted him to get away from Russell Westbrook. It was the fact that he went to the team that beat him. I didn't care that he left.
Honestly, I think that's way worse than how everybody like goes hard on LeBron about going to Miami.
Yes, bro. Anybody with a brain knows that. Anybody that's not dumb, that's not trying to troll, they know that, man. Like, come on, dog. Like, they know for sure that move is worse, bro. LeBron didn't lose to the Celtics and then say, hey, KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, hey, like, let's click up. I'm gonna join y'all. Let's run the East.
He just called a bunch of niggas that were already free agents. You know what?
He said, you know what? I don't have no Hall of Famers, and I'm playing a team that got 4 Hall of Famers on it. So let me get 2 other Hall of Famers and try to even the odds. And people act like Boston was chopped liver. He
really wanted Melo. They really wanted Melo with them too, but Melo was like, Melo wanted to stay in New York at the time. He wanted everybody to come up.
Melo's a liar, bro. Melo's a liar, bro. That man's a liar. I
love his podcast though. 7 p.m. Brooklyn is fire though.
That man said his decision would be based upon winning and then re-sign with a team that was drafted in the lottery. Like,
which is crazy.
That man got to say, you are a liar.
I don't think he ever would have. Honestly, he won't. I don't think he would have left New York anyway. He won't admit it out loud, and I think one day he maybe will when he old. Lala controlled a lot of his career once he got to New York. It was the fact that she was there acting. He's from New York. Like, once Kanye was born, it's a lot of factors in that, to be honest. Like, when I don't even know how to really explain it, but like, I know in my mind what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead, Jermaine.
I'm gonna put it to you like this here. One thing that I noticed about Melo that made me think differently of him was when LeBron, D-Wade, and them, a bunch of the Bosch, they were all talking about, hey, the CBA is coming up, salary cap and shit is about to change. We need to sign these kind of deals so that way we could hit free agency at this time when the cap goes up, so that way we can re-up for more money. That whole 03 draft class and forward, I want to say, was like, okay, bet. We see what you're doing. Let's cook. Melo, nah. I want my money. I want it guaranteed.
He said you don't leave that type of money on the table. That's what he said.
5 for 125. I'm signing my name on a dotted line. Fuck y'all.
Yep. And they said they were saying 4, so that way I want to say I can't remember if it was 4 or 3. It was something. All I remember was Melo was the only one who took 5 years. Everybody else, I think, took like 2, 3, or 4, whatever it was. Right then and there, I was like, nah, that dude different. He thinking on some right now type shit. He not really thinking. Oh yeah.
But also everybody not worried about winning, and I'm still having to come to this realization myself, even at 32 years old. Like, everybody's not worried about winning a championship.
They're not.
Everybody's not worried about winning rings, bro. Like, some
money.
People be like, bro,
some people just want to set their family up.
Yeah, some people want to set their family up, and like,
and I respect it.
Yeah, but my thing with Melo was just say that. Don't say my decision is gonna be about winning, and then you sign for the money. Like, that's my thing. That's what bothers me, because now you lying. You know what I'm saying? Don't lie. Like, that's what I don't like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that it's like nobody will fault you for saying I want the biggest check. Nobody's gonna have a problem with that. It's the fact that you say you want to win and you want to do this and you want to do that, and everything all your moves that you make contradict what you're telling people.
Correct.
That's when people lose respect for you, and they can't view you in the light that you deserve to be viewed in based on your career, because you move funny. And that kind of stuff.
Was you with the Rockets?
Just life itself, not
when
just
we had Melo?
Just life itself.
Was you with the Rockets when we had Carmelo, Jermaine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been here since 2000.
Okay, cool. So this is one of the things, I don't know, maybe you got inside info or whatever the case may be, but this is one of the things that bothered me the most. It actually made me like start disliking him. He went to First Take, and I just went on. I feel like he went on a lion fest. Like, he said that the Rockets never talked to him about coming off the bench, but all of the preseason and in training camp, he was coming off the bench. So I'm like, wait, so in training camp you was coming off the bench. In preseason, you was coming off the bench. To start the regular season, you was coming off the bench. They said that James Ennis was going to play in the Trevor Ariza role, who was starting the year prior. You was going to play the Ryan Anderson role, who was coming off the bench. And they never discussed to you about coming off the bench. And what really ticked me off was people was like, oh, they did him so dirty. And I'm like, bro, is anybody not doing the math here? Like, this nigga is lying. Like, to me,
I don't have no inside info, but from what I could read through the tea leaves, he knew what the deal was.
He knew what it was going into Houston.
He knew what it was. And the one thing I will say about Daryl Morey, he may do some shady shit, but Daryl Morey is not one of them kind of people that's going to be like, look, I promise we're going to do X. He's not going to just consistently promise, especially not a fringe player, which Melo was considered at the time, because he was not a max type of hoopla free agency type of player.
Yeah.
The one thing I will tell you is Morey will lie and manipulate the truth. But for a fringe player like that, I don't think Morey would lie and manipulate the truth just to get a guy like that in there for namesake.
For sure. And they also talked to him in Summer League. You remember that? I think it was OKC or Atlanta had gave him permission to talk to Houston at Summer League that year in Vegas. and he had met with the Rockets officials, and I was like, wait, so they didn't discuss you coming off the bench there either? Like,
Look,
it just didn't add up. The math wasn't matching.
The things that what I do is I know and I trust a few people when it comes to Rockets information. I'll listen to them, read what they say or whatever, and I'll disseminate my opinion from that. From what I can remember at that time, Melo knew he was not going to be like a star player on the team at that time. He knew he wasn't going to play, 25, 30 something minutes a night. He knew that. Whether or not he knew he was going to be a starter and play limited minutes or come off the bench and play decent minutes, he knew he was not going to be a featured type player. I know that much. I can say that with confidence. But the extent of his role, how he was going to be used, I can't say for sure. Like they told him, no, you're coming off the bench, or no, you're not. But like you said, if you look at how he was used preseason and whatnot, you could tell, okay, this is how they're going to use you moving forward. They're not going to use you this way in preseason and then change the way they're going to use you in the regular season. That don't happen. So you had to have known, especially not only that, but the contract, they brought you in on a 1-year contract.
A veteran minimum.
Right. Which I want to say at the time was like
2.4.
2.5 or 2 something.
2.4.
If you just look at the money that's being made on that team, it don't matter who you are but your name. You know when you're coming in on a vet minimum, you're not going to be one of the top 5 guys that's going to get playing time on that team. You have to know that.
It really was him coming in. Like the same thing I said before, like he came in off his name. It was merch sales, jersey sales. At that point, if I remember correctly, a lot of fans, not just Houston fans or whatever, but it was just like fans in general, Melo or just basketball were just like, yo, Melo, why is he not, why is he not signed? Why is he not playing more? You see what he's doing when he gets on the court. And I'm like, I see it, but it's still older. Now you're getting older Melo that like he kind of got into that AI mindset where it was like, I don't want to come off the bench. I should start. He's scoring, yes, he definitely was. You put the ball in his hand, he was still a walking bucket, but he became even more of a liability on defense as he got older. Because now you slower, now you older and slower. And I think the other thing was when he does these Chris Brinkley videos where he in the gym and he hooping, doing the 5-on-5 runs, and it looked amazing. It looked great, but that's not what we get when the season starts. You know what I mean? Right. Like we're not getting that hoodie. We're not getting the hoodie Melo. That's the Melo everybody wanted was hoodie Melo. Hoodie Melo was a dog. Hoodie Melo in the offseason in the gym is going crazy. Like he giving the young boys buckets. Like nasty.
But it's like when we talked about like just the mindset of an athlete, when your mind is telling your body something, but your body can't do it no more. And then that's what guys like Melo was going through at that time. It was like, no, I'm Melo. It's like, yeah, you Melo.
I think for him to retire, somebody had to get into saying exactly what you said though, and got in his head and was just like, hey, bro, it's time. Like you can't do it the way you do.
But I think that people, like what you said, going back to your point where you said people really didn't want to believe and what was going on. It was an article that got off that showed like statistical facts about how bad the defense was versus how much he was producing offensively. It showed that, hey, not only is he getting cooked defensively, but he's not even producing at the rate that Ryan Anderson was producing at from 3. Kelly Iko wrote an article about it. Jermaine, I know you know Kelly Iko.
Yeah.
Kelly Iko wrote a whole article about it on The Athletic. I read it. I sent it to my partner who at the time thought you would have thought we put Carmelo Anthony in jail. Like, the way he was acting. And in the article, In the article, he presented facts as to why Houston decided to go with Gary Clark. It was like, hey, this is what their defense looks like when Gary Clark is on the floor. Gary Clark shooting about the same percentage from three. He was like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. I was like, bro, you're ignoring facts because you like Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, of course.
Actually looking at the actual what's going on. And I'm like, you're not even paying attention to what's going on. You see the name Carmelo Anthony, and you see the kid with braids in Denver. You don't see with a product that's on the floor now where I'm telling you teams are attacking him and I switch everything scheme. They're putting him in weak side rotations and he can't defend the rim and it's killing our defense. You know what I'm saying? You don't see it. All you see is the Bleacher Report. I got it. Fuck out of here on the rebound and you in love. Like it's more to it than that. It's more to it than that.
And that's majority of fans. I ain't even gonna say it's like a half. It's majority of fans. We're going through that now with the Lakers where it's just like, I personally think like it's time to move on from AD and LeBron, where most fans are like, it's AD and LeBron, man. What we gonna do if they gonna we rebuild? We suck again for a couple years and we fucking rebuild. Y'all act like, especially the ones that's my age, act like we ain't go through that shit with Kobe and after Kobe. You know what I mean? Like we went through. Smush Parker was my point guard. You can't get no worse. You can't get no worse than that. Robert Sacre was my center. But that's what I'm saying. Like you gotta be cool with that. You gotta rebuild, and you gonna suck for a little while to get back. Like until another star in a sense is like, nah, dog, the Lakers been down, and it's the Lakers. The league is never gonna let. There's a script. We know this. They
care more about stars, man. The Lakers. I just think they never developed. Like they've never did a draft and develop where they went 5-6 years.
Magic and Kobe not even were the last one, right?
I guess you could say Magic, but I mean, yeah, I guess, but they still had Kareem. Like they still signed they had a marquee free agent all the time. They're used to signing marquee free agents.
That is
they
true.
Always are.
They
don't believe in doing the OKC route.
Free agents that came in, they weren't. Magic was drafted. But then, like you said, Kareem was brought in.
I mean, Worthy was drafted. Worthy was drafted. But
most of the players during that team were drafted, except for like a couple, for the most part.
The 80s was a wild time.
Go back to when they first started winning. You drafted Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and those guys, but you brought in Wilt.
You get balloons off the three? That's crazy,
bro.
That was wild.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. You put 3 fingers up and then it was.
Oh, it's the 3. Okay.
About the 3 gave you balloons. That's great. We learned something. That's the thing on here. We learn something new every week on his
live too.
Yeah, it's all, bro. We learn something new.
Cool. That's cool.
Every week on his, and it's only on his screen.
Wait, the shit threw us off. It was 1 week his shit was working and my shit wasn't, and then the very next week it went back to my shit being working and his shit wasn't. Oh, I forgot about that one. Let me see.
I don't know. Yep.
Yo,
it's crazy. We learn something new every week on here. But yeah,
but anyway, it's like even if you go back to then, like when you had Elgin Baylor and Jerry West, they didn't win until they got fucking Wilt there.
Yeah, and even with the Lakers with Kobe, if you think about it, Kobe was drafted, Derek Fisher was drafted. Devin George
bring in Robert Horry. You had to
brought in Robert Horry. Devin George was drafted in, but you brought in Shaq. You brought in Lamar Odom because he wasn't drafted.
Right, you had to bring in Odom. You had to bring in Gasol.
Yeah, Metal World Peace was brought in.
He was brought in. Like every iteration of the Lakers you had, but they had a blend. I'll give them that. It
was always a good blend, but it wasn't like a Golden State or a OKC where it was like the guys we drafted and developed, and
it was more organic.
They came in from the ground up. So
right, like, but even if you look at Jordan and his Bulls, the very first repeat, a lot of those guys were homegrown talent, but they had a couple free agents.
In the first one?
The first one. You look at the second one, and it was like you had Michael, you had Scotty.
You had Rodman.
Rodman was brought in. because he was a free agent, trade, whatever.
Was BJ brought in?
BJ was
I
drafted.
think BJ was drafted in.
He was on that. But
Kerr,
listen, when you
Kukoc.
look at that second team, you had Kukoc. Kukoc was like a Euro stash.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Rodman, one of the key cogs, was brought in. You had a Euro stash
from
a
San
guy
Antonio,
that was
right?
brought in, and two homegrown talents.
Was Rodman from San Antonio at that point, or was he
Yeah.
still
he
from?
was from San
Yeah.
Antonio. Yeah.
They brought him in.
San Antonio was the beginning of the hair color and stuff.
Right. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Even if you look back to historical NBA teams, they always had at least one key cog that was brought in via trade or free agency.
Mhm.
You would have to go back to like the 60s to find true just homegrown talent. We drafted these guys, we developed these guys, boom, won
Yeah.
championship. You'd have to
Shit,
go back
even-
that fucking
Even
far.
then, to be honest, even then they move pieces around. Like they get a guy off free agency
Exactly.
or something like that. So
Exactly.
because them
So I'm saying,
for the most part, them Celtics teams when they were winning, it was majority homegrown. But nah, it might be they shits might have been full homegrown for real. They also had Red Auerbach, and he was just Bill Russell
Yeah.
that was bigger than everybody.
Yeah,
So-
but no, just with the Lakers, though, I just feel like they not a developed team. Like that's not their bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they'll develop some every now and again, but for the most part, that's never been their MO. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Ooh.
they've always been to
what?
go out and get free agency.
Oh, that's crazy. DeMar DeRozan has been traded to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Kevin Holder, Kobe Jones, and a 2027 second-round pick.
Where do y'all see this at?
It's in the comments, but Woj just put it out.
Oh, Woj, damn! I'm refreshing. He ain't even.
Oh no, that's fake.
Is that the fake Woj page?
Yeah,
Because you know
that's
it's two of them. The other Woj.
that's the fake one.
Okay,
I'm about to say, 'cause I'm subscribed. I'm subscribed
That's
to
why I
his
was
tweet.
like, wait a minute, before I read this,
I'm subscribed to his tweets. I'm like, I ain't got no tweet.
Yeah, I definitely ain't seen none.
that's a fake. I'm
I'm on his page now, but I'm seeing stuff. I ain't really been on everything all day.
That's not a good
Timberwolves
trade.
got Joe Ingles.
That wouldn't
That's
be
a nice pick.
Yeah, Timberwolves. It was part of the signing trade, I think, with Golden State, Minnesota, and all that. You know, a lot of teams try to get in. But
that was part of that 3-team deal or whatever, or was that something else?
I think that was part of the 3-teamer.
No, this one say the Timberwolves landed him in a 1-year free agent deal. This one want to sign and trade.
That one was a 1-year deal. Hold up, I'm trying to pull it up right now. I can't. Because that
Got
happened
his
kind of
back
earlier
on that,
today.
Something
Hold up.
changed. To backstage brawl, I do want to say, I don't know if you're still listening, but yeah, Melo really kind of scrubbed D'Antoni in New York. I think that the success that Jeremy Lin had with Linsanity, Melo was jealous of it, and I think that you know, he kind of messed up the offensive flow of things that was going on in New York, and Mike D'Antoni quit. I don't know if Mike D'Antoni's that petty to where he would have carried that on 8 years later or 5-6 years later, whatever the case may be. But heck, maybe. I don't know.
From what I could remember, D'Antoni, he was open to Melo coming when he came here to Houston.
It was the other coach. It was the defensive coach from Memphis, Jeff something.
Yeah,
was Bizdale?
That was
Yeah, he quit.
I want to say there was, because it was something that they got into it with when
In
Melo
Memphis.
was in New York.
Oh yeah, New York. Yeah.
It was something that happened when Melo was in New York, and those two guys like really got into it, and it got ugly. And that's why when he came to Houston, old boy was like, "Nah, I'm out. If y'all bringing him in, I'm out." It was
Jeff
something like that.
Bizdelic.
Bizdelic. There we go.
Jeff Bizdelic. Yeah.
Right. It was something that got ugly in New York, and that's why Bezdelic was not on board with it whatsoever. And he was just like, you know what, fuck this. I'm out of here if y'all bringing him in here. So
he was I think he was Carmelo Anthony's first coach.
It was
and he gave in
Denver.
Melo gave the Nuggets an ultimatum, me or him, and they chose Melo. And so
there we go.
Did the same to Houston. Yeah.
So they've been having beef like Melo whole career basically. I forgot that it went back. I thought it went back to just New York. I didn't realize it went back to Denver. But yeah. I knew they had a beef or something that got personal or something like that when Melo was in New York. That's what I thought it was.
And as a coach, you're gonna hold that for a while because you're gonna
exactly. You're not gonna.
But you gotta realize,
like,
but you gotta realize, man, we're gonna take the.
He had benched him. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the franchise always take the young kid over the coach any day of the week because it's like.
Mm-hmm. It said after an embarrassing loss to the Los Angeles Clippers on New Year's Eve, Bezdelic chose to bench Anthony for lack of defensive effort. And then Anthony said it affected me a lot. My reaction was like, wow, why? I didn't know the reason why. I thought I was doing a pretty good job. They had a closed-door meeting with Carmelo and Bezdelic, and within the next month, the Nuggets chose to fire Bezdelic.
Because you're gonna take
remember that shit.
You're gonna take that money, that the kid with the money that you drafted over.
I could find another coach.
December
I can't find somebody that can give me 25 a night.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I'm about to go see that game, that box score, and see what Melo did because it must have been pretty bad. It was his rookie. He was only 19 though, but that goes to show you how much the mentality has changed back then from what it is today. It's changed a ton. You know what I'm saying?
What are y'all? Because I don't think Jermaine really gave me his opinion of it last week. I said my piece on it a little bit, but with JJ getting hired with the Lakers, right, as head coach.
Okay.
And I like it and don't like it all at the same time because I'm one that I feel like with certain franchises, it's hard being a first-time coach. Mm-hmm. With those type, like with the Dallas, with being a Cowboy, being a Laker, a Yankee, a Red Sox, Duke, UNC, like big Alabama about to go through it now with even though their coach is a pretty solidified coach coming from Oregon, but they had to go out and get somebody like that. They couldn't just promote somebody or bring somebody in that had no experience or anything. But it's going to be an uphill battle for him. I think the move they did today, bringing in Nate McMillan and Scott Brooks onto his staff, helps a lot with that. Because he's got some pretty solidified veteran coaches to help him. Are they putting the pieces in place to help him succeed, or is this just a placeholder until they find what they really want, like they've been doing the last few years with coaches?
That's a good question. I really don't know enough about it, bro. To be honest with you, I really don't know. From what I know about Nate McMillan, he's a no-nonsense type guy as a head coach. As an assistant, I'm not sure what he is. Scott Brooks has always seemed like easygoing, kind of offensive-minded. So you got the offensive-minded coach in Scott Brooks. You got the defensive-minded coach in Nate McMillan. Then you got JJ Redick, who's more of like an X's and O's. I don't know if he's really a player's guy, but he obviously played the game. So there is that dynamic there.
He's still got that connection because he's only a year removed, maybe two. I want to say
2-3 years. Yeah. I think his last season was 2021 with the Pelicans. I think that was his last year.
So he's not even that far removed from being a player. Yeah. You know, it's like that thing at your job where, like, you know, somebody gets promoted to being a manager and they just was sitting next to you the day before. You know what I mean? So like he still got that player connection, which will help as far as that buffer between player to like front office type. So
for sure.
I mean, I'm interested. We still got to bring in a few. We still got to bring in a few more players, but I mean, at this point, it wouldn't matter who we brought in as head coach. Braun is the coach anyway, so it don't matter.
Man, I don't know, man. The Lakers, bro. It's just like
Braun.
I don't know. It's no reason as a Lakers fan, bro, I know you're a Lakers fan, bro, but I'm gonna just tell you, bro, I just don't think that's a serious franchise that's serious about winning. I don't
Nope.
think so. I don't think that LeBron. I think the second LeBron chose to go there, he gave up about winning championships. Even though he won one, ironically, I still think that he gave up. I just think that it's over for him. He wanna make number one hits now. He don't want to make classic
Oh
albums.
yeah.
You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah. It
saying?
was
Like
all
he don't
about.
want to. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, you
I just
gotta,
think that
but
way.
you have
I
to
like
think
that
like
comparison, though.
the
I like
Laker
that
move
comparison.
was perfect for him just because Bronny was starting high school in LA because he was going to so whatchamacallit. So it was like, I ain't gotta worry about trying to fly to LA for his games and stuff. Like I'm here. So
Mhm.
if we got an away game, I might miss some, but for the most part, I'm here after practice, whatever. Hell, Bronny was practicing with them most of the time anyway. So it was the movie stuff because that was around the time they were shooting Space Jam 2. So it's like everything was set up for him exactly how it was set up for his future after basketball. Because that's what he was looking at. And I ain't mad at
Correct.
that.
Mhm.
Correct.
And
That's
again, it
what I
goes
said
to the
too.
name on the back
Mhm.
of the jersey for him. It's the name on the front combined with the name on the back is making money for the franchise, ticket sales, all of that. So it was a more business move than a basketball move,
Correct.
on
Correct.
court basketball move at that.
Yes.
So
And I, like I said, bro, if your goal was to win more championships the year after you got swept in the finals versus Golden State, there was a team in Houston who had just pushed that team to the brink, who had won 65 games. You could have been the reason that team got over the hump with Chris Paul and James Harden. You chose not to. There was a team in Philly, not saying that they would have done anything, but Ben Simmons, that was before he flamed out. That was
yep,
before Embiid had so many injuries.
yep.
Yep.
That was a team in Philly that was closer. There were multiple teams that you could have chose to go to that you did not go to because you was not trying to win. And then on to put the icing on top of the proverbial cake, you paired yourself with Anthony Davis, who had won 2 playoff series in 7 seasons. No, he went to the playoffs twice in 7 seasons and won 1 playoff series. So you
And
paired
I
yourself
still
with the
feel like we
loser.
gave up way too much for
You
Anthony Davis.
paired yourself with a loser who can't lead. All
Look
of
at
this
this.
passing the baton stuff that everybody's talking about. I'm like, passing it to who? Anthony Davis can't lead nobody. He's
Nope.
never
Thank you.
been a leader. So
Nope.
who is he passing this baton to? First, to be a leader, you got to be available for 82 games. And you got to be able, come hell or high water, you got to be able to get your team to the playoffs. That's
Yep.
been my parameter for a superstar. That's why I never believed in Kevin Love. That's why I never really believed in Chris Bosh like that. That's why I never believed in Kyrie Irving like that, because they can't lead a team to the playoffs as a number one option. Like consistently year in and year out, cannot depend on you to play 75 games, get me to the playoffs, be in the MVP conversation. No. They don't check no 3 of the boxes. So it's like when he paired himself with him, it was him telling me, I'm done. That was my opinion.
Yeah. Last year was the first year Anthony Davis played in 70 plus games since the 2017-18 season.
This was the
With
most
DeMarcus
healthiest.
Cousins.
Yep, this was the healthiest he
Yeah.
had been. That's another one that still hurts me, man. DeMarcus was.
But this is the thing though, like when I look at these guys, somebody was telling me, well, Paul George got paid a whole lot of money, and I was like, look, here, Paul George came off of a season in which he averaged more than 20 a game, and he stayed healthy. This was the first time in I think 5 seasons that he's proven that he could play 70 plus games in a season. I said, so not only did he stay healthy all season and play 70 plus games, but he also averaged like 20, 23 plus a game. The friction with Harden, whatever, the chemistry and all of that aside, he proved 2 things in one season that sometimes guys don't get to do coming off a major injury. Can you stay healthy? Number 1. And can you still play at a superstar level? Number 2. He proved both of those 2 things this past season. So I was like, okay, maybe him getting a 4-year max on another team isn't as far-fetched as I originally thought it was because he actually proved himself to stay healthy. What that deal is structured like, what it looks like, where the player or team options are, that's neither here nor there. When I saw he got a 4-year fully, it's no like team option after the second year or something like that, nothing like that. I was like, oh, well, hey.
And the fact that it was Philly.
The medicals and that they must be confident in that his ability and the medicals to check out.
They are very desperate in the East.
They're desperate.
I would definitely say that.
Yeah, well,
they had to do something because if not,
Boston, I didn't want to be the one to say it. I'm just
Maury is a big. We know Maury in Houston. Maury loves names more than he loves cohesiveness. That's why I like OKC. OKC got Caruso and Hardenstein, and then extended everybody else on their roster and wiped their hands and said they done. They didn't go Paul George hunting. They didn't go Kevin Durant hunting because they didn't go Zach LaVine hunting, Brandon Ingram hunting, because those are bigger storylines than they are productions and wins.
They knew the pieces that they need to help them. They knew they had to get Giddey out.
Yep.
And Giddey was the one, not saying they had to get Giddey out, but when it came to moving anybody to bring somebody in, Giddey was the best move. Caruso is good for their fit for them. Hardenstein in the middle is going to be amazing for them. So
it's like Bryson said earlier. Giddey was one of those what he called a movable contract. Yeah, where you have a contract that's favorable enough for you to add it to a deal to say, hey, we can add this guy to this deal and make this deal work. Oh, okay, cool, let's do it.
And Giddey is still young enough where it's just like
young.
It's like, I like this.
So that's why they didn't really care about the picks.
Two things. He gives you that movable contract to add to a deal. Plus, he's young enough to say, hey, it's not just the contract that we're giving you. There's actually a player who has some potential moving forward behind this contract that we're giving you. Yep. That's a win-win.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, I think everybody's made pretty good moves so far this season.
I just don't. I'm not moved by Philly at all, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, fam. Maybe we can have this conversation later later this year or later next season. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just not moved. And honestly, I don't even care about it in the season. In the playoffs, I don't rely on Paul George in the playoffs, bro. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And then I really don't after he threw James Harden under the bus. Like, I really don't rock with dude, man. Like, now he really on my bad side because he lied. Like, I don't like liars, dog. Huh?
Bro.
Yeah, man. Okay. He said, bro, this is what the man said. Now, I'm gonna present it to you the best way I can that makes logical sense. He said that he not blaming Harden, but them trading Covington, trading Batum, trading Kenyon Martin Jr. hurt them because it was nobody to do the dirty work and rebounding. Now, this is my pushback on that. Covington got hurt December 30th, 2023 and hasn't played a game since. So regardless if you make that Harden trade or not, Covington, he's gone. So now you got Batum and you got Kenyon Martin Jr. What happens now? Let's say everything that transpires this season, besides the Harden trade, everything that transpires this season continues to happen. Kawhi gets hurt going into the playoffs. They don't have Harden. They still got Batum. They still got Kenyon Martin Jr. Do they beat Dallas?
No.
Okay, so why the fuck you bringing up James Harden, bro? It wasn't about no dirty work. Let's add Covington in. Covington is healthy. He's there, but they still don't have Kawhi. Do they get past Dallas?
Nope.
Okay, then. So why are you talk about you? You didn't play well enough, or we didn't have our best player.
I would have been cool with that. I'm always cool with that one because
we didn't have our best player. That's one of the reasons why we lost. Don't say we didn't have Batum in them to do the dirty work. Batum is 35, 36 years old, bro. Like, what are you talking about? He was not going to stop Luka. Kenyon Martin Jr. barely plays, if at all. He was not going to stop Kyrie. What are you talking? Like, stop blaming others. He's a Doc Rivers of players, bro. He's a Doc Rivers of players. He blames others. He don't blame himself. He always got an excuse. He always got an excuse. That's what I don't like about him.
Hey, didn't he used to mess with Doc's daughter?
Yeah, he did.
He got some of his ways by osmosis.
The one that
Hey,
played
that might be
volleyball?
true.
Yeah.
I love her. I met her in person. No, we'll talk about that later. She's amazing.
Hey,
Remember, I told
that's
you.
for off the camera. That's for
No,
actually in the
nothing like
street.
that. Nothing like that. She's a very nice looking young lady. Remember, because my brother was at Duke with Austin, so like it was. I'm like meeting her then. It was like, because that's the one that messed with. That's married to Seth now, right?
I believe
Yeah.
so.
Because that's still crazy how that family is so damn connected.
I
It's
think
crazy.
I want to say
Yeah,
that's
she's married to Seth. She's
Yeah,
married.
because
To
they
Seth.
met
I
at
knew it.
they met at Duke. They
She look
met
just
when
like
they
Doc
were at.
Rivers, bro.
She does. She does more than Austin. But it's like, but not in a bad way though. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like she's not ugly. I don't know, but that's the one that played
What you
volleyball. I
know.
remember she played
Bruh,
volleyball. At Duke.
like I remember I knew it was one of them like that, and I was like, I don't know if he had two daughters or if it was the one or what, but
Yeah,
yeah.
They look like that. That look crazy. That's him with
Seth and
hair.
them.
Yup.
Seth and them got a sister that's fine too though.
Yes.
The one that's married to shit. What is his name? That I want to say he played for y'all, don't he?
Can that nigga fight?
I believe he's good. He got hella minutes when he was with Golden State, but that also could be because he was Curry.
Fidel Curry.
But can
Yeah,
he fight?
Sedell. Yeah, she tough.
Damian Lee.
That's who it is. Yeah, Damian Lee. Yeah.
Yeah. He in Phoenix.
Can he fight?
I don't know. That one I don't know.
No,
Hey, my motto ain't fight no more. I'm 37.
look,
I don't like to fight. It takes me
I
too long to
retired,
recover.
bro.
I'll go play
Yeah,
full
yeah,
court
good to me.
basketball before I fight.
Bro, I retired. My son started working at the job this week, and we got a hoop out back. And he had texted me earlier. He was like, "Hey, where's the basketball at?" I was like, "I'll bring it to you. Give me a second." So I started pumping up the basketball, and they was like, "Hey, you about to play?" Nah.
Well, they got
I
excited.
told you I retired a long time ago. This for my son. Y'all can go play with him now. I ain't playing no more. I told you.
Oh, don't worry. I'm
You just
fully
got to
retired.
stretch really well.
Look, I'm fully retired now. I'm Coach Dad now. I'm good on
Man,
that.
fuck that stretching well. Like even it's the recovery, bro. It's the after. I don't like that shit.
I ain't gonna lie.
like that shit.
I hoop on Sundays and I feel that shit till Thursday every week. I feel it every week till Thursday. That's with stretching.
Bro.
You ever heard of Spots Park,
Where
Jermaine? Spots Park is it's like in the gallery area. It's not in the gallery area, but it's like in the gallery area. It's
I
off the
think
Woodway
I know
Memorial.
what you're talking about.
You got to walk down a big hill to get to the basketball court. It's like a hill that's like super high.
Is by the international school?
I don't know if it's a school by it, baby.
Damn, I'm trying to think it, but I think I know what you're talking about though.
Hey, bro, when you go to phase 2, bro, like just DM me, bro, because I pull up. Because phase,
I'll
that's
let
funny
you know,
that you go to
I
phase
may
2,
go
man.
this weekend because
That's funny,
like,
man.
I don't feel like doing my beard and stuff right now.
Yeah,
like,
I went there literally last Tuesday. I went there
I
just to
don't
get
feel
like a
doing
lineup. Yeah, man. I went there. I seen what's the old man name with the bald head, dark skin, Mr. Joe. Yes, I seen this picture. I said, man, he's still here. The last time I went to phase 2, I was probably like 12, bro. I was like 12, and then I went there again at 30. My grandma stayed right on the other side of the discount tire, bro. Like I'm from I'm from this area. She stay on Northern Street. She stay on Northern Street.
What you talking about?
Yeah, on Northern Street, bro. Like she stayed right there.
Damn.
She stayed on South Breeze and Northern right there. That's my people. I stay on Fondren and West Airport.
That's bruh. Like I just told my son, I was like, hey, I feel like going to get po' boys some. Oh, you know what? Wait, Dre says Spots Park is in that. They got a couple of them though. They got
right though. That's exactly it's in the Heights. It's in the Heights.
They got a couple of them. They don't just have one. They got a couple of them around the city. But
Dr. J on 290 sound familiar. Is he on Twitter?
Yeah, Dre on
with
290.
That same name.
Yeah,
I think
that's the same. That's the same Dre. But like I was just telling my son, I was like, bro, we gotta go back to the po' boy spot over there that's off of Belford and Fondren. And he was like, the one we used to go to at the barbershop? I was like, yeah, that same one. He was like, all right, bet. I was like, look, I'm not cooking, so let's go over to the pool boy shop. Like, let's go over there. He was like, all right, cool. So we plan on going over there because, like, that was our thing. Like, we'll go get a haircut, go get something to eat or something like that. Go to the car wash down the street, get the car wash over there. It was like that was like our getaway. But since we moved over here to this side of town, it's I
So you on the Southwest?
Yeah, I moved to Rosenberg now.
Oh, you in Rosenberg? Oh, you
yeah,
were my mom at? Yeah, my mom's out there. My mom's in the Southwest. She in the Southwest, right off of 529, I think. Exit.
Oh, I know where she at. She further out west.
Yeah, she further that way. Yeah.
I know
well, shit. Anytime if your kid's trying to hoop, I'm still young, so I get out there. I don't care.
Look,
I still young.
This nigga taller than me now.
Oh yeah.
Yes, bro. Yes, and he look. My coworker at work, he was like, "Hey, we got a new stretch 5 in the building." I was like, "You already know I taught him how to shoot." So
yeah, I got a game every Tuesday. So we be in the league hooping every Tuesday. I'm trying to find more days out the week to hoop because I be busy. Then on Tuesday I be rusty. I'm like, man, I gotta get back in the gym, bro. I gotta start.
My man hit me this. Matter of fact, he just hit me talking about they got this new 35 up league. I was like, I was like, man, retirement. I was like, I might be able to come out for this one, man. I might have to dust it off. He was like, man, I was like, I can come off the bench. I ain't starting. I got you off the bench. I definitely do. I ain't mellow. I understand where I am in life. Like,
I told him, look, my homeboy was like, look, can you just spot up and shoot still? I was like, bro, I ain't even doing that because that means I gotta run up and down the court. If I gotta run up, I ain't doing it. I was
still
like,
need you to play a little defense.
No. And it was like, man, come on, man. I know you still got some. I was like, it don't matter what I got left in the tank. If I can't go out there and play like I used to play, I ain't playing. Fuck that.
Yeah, your mind telling you to do it, but your body's telling you nah.
Bro, when that first started happening for me, I was like, I'm done.
Nope. Only reason I'm thinking about it because the team that my homeboy done put together, I'm like, damn, these niggas might they won the chip the last 3 years in a row, and he added more to. He lost 3, but the niggas he added already is like that still. Like they still like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, they about to get another chip. I was like, yeah, let me go. Let me be that vet that just come in and get this chip real quick, doing nothing at all.
I told him the only way the only way I'm willing to come out of retirement is if y'all let me play point guard. Outside of that, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
I mean, are we running a slow? We running a slow offense, or we running that Golden State where we just up and down the court? Because
look, we can do whatever. I'll get in shape for it. I do not want to be responsible for finishing. I do not want to be responsible for protecting the rim. I don't be responsible for rebounding. Just let me make plays and play a little defense. That's it. And pass the ball. That's all I want to do. That's it. I'm not doing nothing else. Don't ask me to do none of that fancy shit I used to do because I can't do that shit no more.
Are you a boxing fan? Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you, nah, not really, bro. Okay. I'll watch it if it's a big fight, but I don't be knowing shit. I mean, I know a knockout. I know the basics. I know the basics, but I ain't no big boxing fan. I'm not a big UFC fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm just I like basketball, football, some baseball a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it's also hard for me to get into any sport without a rooting interest. So it's like I gotta be able to have a team that I like. Like it's hard for me to watch. Like I bought WNBA League Pass because like I want to watch more women's, but it's hard for me to watch because the comments don't exist. If the comments existed,
then I would have a team, in. So you would be.
I would be like in hockey. I can't watch hockey because Houston don't have it. It's hard for me. I'm trying to break that, but it's just hard. I'm Houston, like I can't break it.
My man is like that. He's Boston, like all the way down. Like I have another homeboy that's New York. A lot of my New York homies are like New York
Yes,
all
bro.
the way down. And it's like
Great
if
New
they don't
York.
have a team for that sport, it's kind of like
But see,
I
like the thing
watch,
is
but
though,
just not like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
not
not
invested.
into it.
The
Yeah.
only time I'm invested if the Houston team not playing is if, like, when the Eagles played the Chiefs, you would have thought I was an Eagles fan because I
I
don't
hate
like
the
the
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I
I
hate the
don't
Chiefs, bro.
like the
I mean,
Chiefs.
I should hate the Chiefs now. They took
The
our
only time
coach,
I hate, the
took
only
our
time I
Super
rooted for the
Bowls.
Chiefs was when they was playing Tom Brady. And then I was a Chiefs fan because I didn't like Tom Brady. I didn't want the Bucks to win. And then
You know what's
so
crazy, bro? I
yeah.
love Tom. I hated the Patriots because I hate Boston. I'm a like because I have
Yeah.
it's like being a Laker and a Yankee fan. I hate Boston, so it's
Yeah.
like, but I like Tom. I've
Yeah.
always been a Tom Brady fan. I just hate them. So when he went to the Bucks, because I grew up in Tampa, I was hyped. My dad
Yeah.
was ecstatic. He loves the Bucks and my brothers. So it's like I was like, all right, he a Buck. I was like, all right, that's cool. I can really root for him now because he got up out of Boston.
yeah.
But I hate the Chiefs with a fucking passion, dog.
Yeah, I don't
It's
like
hard.
the Chiefs. I don't like
It's
Mahomes, nothing.
it's hard for me to give Mahomes his props because the nigga he's fire, but it's just like I hate him so fucking much.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping CJ Stroud is the one. I'm hoping. I'm tired of it. I
I
was rooting for Joe Burrow.
I love
But
Rich
he got hurt.
I
Yeah, I hope CJ
love
Stroud gets him out the paint.
the moves that Houston made this offseason. I love it. I love everything y'all have done.
Hey,
Like,
bro, bringing in the most underrated move to me this offseason the team made was Houston bringing in Danielle Hunter to put on the other side of Will Anderson Jr.
I think Joe Mixon.
oh,
Joe Mixon was cool.
I
But
think
I'm telling
I
you,
was gonna say I think Mixon and Diggs because y'all defense was
but
fine
look,
in a
that
sense.
that offense was already gonna be nice.
True.
Offense got nicer. That defense was solid.
Because y'all didn't lose. Did y'all lose y'all running back?
No,
Yeah, he
they
went to
didn't even
Devin.
re-sign Singletary. They brought back
Damian Pierce still on his
Damian
rookie
Pierce.
contract. He's still on his rookie contract. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But they trade. But this is the thing: when you have a bookend on the other side of another good D end like that, you wreak havoc. Because now you can't double team either one of those guys because now you're gonna leave 2 D tackles.
Yeah.
Eating up the middle. I don't know how teams gonna try to block this shit. The only thing I can say is that if you leave a tight end back there, you pulling the guy out from running the route. So now you got 4 possible guys running the route instead of 5.
Yeah.
The more help you use to block, the less you have going out on the route, the more they can cover.
I definitely think I think at least on paper, y'all got the AFC South locked up again.
Say, man,
I like the Jag. I always like the Jags every year. It's something about them I just like. I like the way they play. I don't think the Colts are there. I think they're still developing their quarterback.
Yeah.
And then I don't like Tennessee at all. Tennessee, I like Will Levis though. I said when he got drafted, he was going to be the one player coming out of that draft also that fit very well with the team that he got sent to. So, but y'all should clearly take the AFC South with no problem again.
Yeah, I think that team is gonna be good. Just football season coming up is gonna be real interesting simply because the way the league rules are structured, it creates natural parity in the league itself. And so you don't really have like in baseball where you can have like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, Cubs, teams like that are natural big market teams that can outspend everybody. You don't have like in the NBA where there's the luxury tax and the second ceiling and then the repeat offenders luxury tax and all of that, where teams can be like, okay, I'll just outspend you a little bit more.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you have a hard cap and you have real free agency, real parity in the league to where guys move around and shift so much to where you could have a team that's like picking in the top 10 one year and they're in the AFC, NFC title game the next year.
The Bengals.
Bingo. Yep. So I really love the way the NFL has done it, and I just hope that the NBA and Major League Baseball can somehow morph into a form of that. Not saying copy that because they won't ever be able to replicate that, but if they could somehow get to a more diverse, like if there's more playoff turnover every year and more different teams winning every year, which it kind of has been.
It has been a little bit. It definitely.
Just
I'm about to say, yeah. This season
consistent.
coming up is probably going to be. If you really look at every roster in the NBA right now, and you kind of look at the moves everybody has made, I think outside of maybe a Washington and probably Charlotte, every team is pretty solid in a sense. Maybe Portland, but I kind of like everything that Portland has. They just got to put it together. Even
Brooklyn.
the Pistons.
Brooklyn. And the Pistons in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So it's like it's still 6 teams or so, basically.
Yeah, which is better than what it has been before, where it was even more. Like there's more parity and it's more. I don't want to per se say even, but it kind of is in a sense where
the Bulls.
In Toronto. So that's still about 6.
But
that's still about
it's
6,
7.
That's
because I was speaking to a former NFL player that had recently retired at the time we were having this conversation, and he was like, "Hey, it's only X amount of teams every year that actually try to win the championship." He was like, then you have about X amount of teams every year that give it a good effort, but they're not going to push too hard. He was like, the rest of them, as long as the check clears, they're good. They don't care.
Yep.
And I see that in every league, every year. But there are even some teams every so often that will course correct themselves because of the moves that they're making and that they'll wind up better than what they expected to be. Perfect example, the Clippers in the late 2010s, mid 2010s or whatever. They were so bad for so long and had stockpiled so many draft picks and lottery picks and free agents and whatnot to where they ended up, okay, we got Chris Paul, we got Blake Griffin, we're actually pretty good.
Yeah,
they stumbled into being good.
Yeah.
Then you get a team like the Bengals back in the day when they had Chad Johnson and TJ Houshmandzadeh and Carson Palmer.
Yeah,
where the Brown family wasn't trying to see success; they were just trying to make sure the check kept coming, and they
keep the team afloat and keep the team in the
family. They stayed in the black as much as they could. They ended up good, but what I see right now in the NBA is teams like Orlando that were just trying to be okay or whatever. And now they're going to end up being good because they stockpile so much talent.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll end up seeing a team like a Charlotte that got a LaMelo and got I can't even remember his name, the kid from Alabama and whatnot. They got
Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller, right. They're going to end up being good enough to be considered as, okay, let's watch out for this team this year coming up.
Mm.
What I really love is when I see teams that take that, okay, we've been down for a little while, we're going to stockpile some talent, but then we're also going to spend some money and try to at least do something with what we have. That's what I see teams like Minnesota has done the last couple of years. The Rockets are trying to do right now. OKC is doing right now. The Knicks are doing right now because they brought in Brunson and all these other guys and they're making moves. Like teams like that are teams that have been down for a little while that I see, okay, we're stockpiling some talent through the draft, but we're also going to spend some money in free agency and try to turn this thing around and see what we can do to make our team better. That's what I love to see is when a team can kind of combine the two and make a good team. And that's what Golden State built their dynasty on. It's like, okay, we drafted Steph, we drafted Clay, we drafted Draymond, but we also brought in the Iguodala,
Andrew Bogut, Maurice Spates, David West, Sean Livingston,
exactly.
Leandrino Barbosa,
veteran free agents at decent deals to add to this young talent that we have to say, hey, we got something here. We can have something more sustainable if we bring in the right guys.
And they brought in the right. Golden State was always bringing in the right vets that had a lot left. I ain't even gonna say enough. They had a lot left that could sustain the entire season into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
last thing before we get out, though, I do want to say this before I head out. So, the Lakers, the Wolves, and the Thunder were all playoff teams either last season or the year before that, and they all either went to the conference finals or the second round. If you look at the OKC Thunder, their record was actually one game worse than what Houston's was this year, but they were 40-42 last year, and they was in a play-in. Houston was 41-41, didn't make the play-in, so the West was a little bit better this year than it was last year. And now OKC has the number 1 seed in the West, and obviously they lost in the second round. Houston, I think, is going to do the same thing this year. Maybe not the number 1 seed, but I think Houston is going to be a top 4 to 5 seed if everybody stays healthy. Because OKC should have been a playoff team last year, but Chet didn't play a single game because he had got hurt in that little freestyle game with LeBron. But Houston had Tari Eason miss 50 to 60 games. Amen Thompson missed 20 games. Sengun missed 20 games, and they won 41 games. So if you take away Eason's injuries, Amen's injuries, or if they just miss 7 to 8 games instead of 20 to 30, I think that's a playoff team for sure.
I agree.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is if I bet the Rockets over and wins, I should hit on that bet this year.
What's the over?
That's what I'm about to look at right now.
I like Houston though. I like their young.
I don't like gambling.
And what they
I already knew that. That's why I was asking you.
The only reason why I don't like it is because if I'm a gamble, I want my money back if they get hurt. When I made this bet, I wasn't banking on Sengun missing 82 games.
Exactly. And that's the part that I hate is that like they don't it don't change because of injuries and stuff. It's like, nah, that's who you pick. You got it. So I like Houston though. I like the coaching move. I like everything they've done in the offseason. I think Green is amazing. He just makes dumbass decisions in his real life outside of the. We ain't gonna talk about that though, because I would have got Drea pregnant too. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, bro! Please.
What? Hey, bro, me at 21, Drea is throwing it at me for sure.
I don't think so because if I'm 21, what the other 21-year-olds that's my age looking like, or 22, or 22,
no, and they fight, and they probably
and they got way less baggage.
No, I agree.
Thank you.
I just don't think that I like you said, it wasn't a smart decision. No, but I mean, maybe he had posters of her on his wall growing up. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm not a fan. I
think young boy got that cougar coochie, and he won't thinking like he really won't. It literally was one of them like, yo, that's fine, dog. And he just
what?
He just
they got
won't
the
think.
Rockets 31.5.
Oh yeah, over.
I definitely will take the over. I'd put a 50 on that easy.
I can't wait till my sports book post this.
Hold on, let me look.
I don't see it on there now, but I know it's gonna be there eventually.
A 50 gotta get you a good number on that. Like a
bruh. I'm smashing. No, I just pulled it up on Vegas Insider and it says 31.5. Well, wait,
right,
this says 20, no, I'm sorry. This says 23-24.
Definitely appreciate you coming through.
All right, man. Hey, Jermaine, don't feel free to invite me later for more, okay? Hey, DX Keys, is that your Twitter?
That's my Twitter. Yes, sir.
Okay, let me get it before I get up out of here. DX Keys.
We definitely bringing you back for sure.
All right, man. Salute y'all.
All right, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Dog, I'm looking for that over and under. I can't find it right now, but this is the last season. And they don't have this season out yet. But as soon as I figure it out, we're gonna talk about that because I'm interested to see what they're gonna put at a lot of these teams at this year. Especially knowing the Rockets was 31.5 last season. I'm wondering what they're
gonna say that they're gonna be the same going forward is like
I think they're gonna be somewhere around like 40 or so.
That's what I'm thinking too, because like you just said, like if they healthy, and the players that they didn't have,
Exactly.
they're
They're
gonna win
gonna be
more
around
games.
40 or so. And there's gonna be some teams that's like what we saw last year when we saw like Boston run away with the East with 64 games and the Knicks were in second place and had 50. I don't think that's going to be the case this year moving forward with the Knicks. I think the Knicks going to be like, they're going to probably be around 50, 51, 52 or so with their over and under. And I think Milwaukee,
I think
they
Milwaukee
were
regresses.
49 and 33 last year.
They might be about the same.
I think,
maybe.
yeah, they may be around because like y'all had talked about earlier, it's that Doc Rivers factor with him being the head coach. There. No matter if you got Dame and Giannis and whoever else is a support.
I don't think like win loss wise. I think it's gonna be about the same next year.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana might win more games just because now they got a full season together with Siakam.
That's another thing. They were 47 and 35 last year. The Magic were also 47 and 35 last year. Cleveland was 48 and 34.
And even the Magic with their offseason move, I think all of them get to about 50 plus, somewhere between 50 to 55. They go up, but everything else is relatively about the same still every year. After
it's gonna be real interesting moving forward looking at that Eastern Conference because you see like even when you look at like the 7 and 8 seed in Miami and Philly last year, those were two teams that you thought were gonna be in like the top 4 or 5, that year, and they ended up 7 and 8 seeds. So, and Philly made some decent improvements this year. And I know y'all didn't really like them or agree with them or whatever, but still, like, I don't know, man. It's that East is going to be something to watch moving forward. The West, I think, is still going to be pretty much the same. It's just going to be a continuous changing from the old guard to the new guard, like from the Lakers and the Suns and some of those veteran teams. And even if Denver doesn't get their shit together, they're going to look to start taking a step back to the Minnesotas and the Dallases and whatnot. And I just think that teams like the Lakers and Golden State and some of these other veteran teams that are out there, they're going to have a hard time pulling it together unless they can prove that they can get and stay healthy throughout the regular season to give themselves enough wins to put themselves in position in the playoff where they have home field advantage. So I'm loving the way this is gonna look. I'm loving the new talent, and I'm actually happy. Like we got some shit to look forward to in the NBA because, like we've been talking about for the longest, the women have been holding our attention much better than the men have.
Yeah, and I think college. And sadly, I think college is still going to be the same this year, where it's like we're definitely going to pay more attention, even with Caitlin and Angel being gone, who have dominated majority of the headlines in women's college basketball the last few years. Now we have the Jujus, the Pages. You got Flage, who is going to be, she's the vet now down at LSU.
Yep.
I think
Eddie Van Lith went to
TCU. Like that's going to be interesting to watch. A lot. USC has grabbed a few.
Kiki Iriafen, from Stanford to USC.
Yeah, so it's going to be super interesting to see how women's basketball is going to be college wise next season. I think that championship is up in the air. I think I honestly think it's UConn's to lose for sure. But it's like it's USC's to win. It's LSU. Are they getting back? I think Iowa's done. I think their run is over. I'm interested to see how they revamp and who they have.
Stanford is going to be another interesting one to see how they reload after losing.
They lost a lot,
and then Kiki transferred. So like your two best players, they moved on. So now it's like, now what do you do?
And then same thing with USC. Like
there, I don't think she retired.
I think she was thinking about it, but I don't think she's
it was something like that. But like that's gonna be another interesting situation of an institutional like blue blood program that you would normally see in the top 10, top 5.
Now
That's
they're
gonna be a tremendous hit, from
and
last year
gone.
moving forward.
So that's definitely gonna be interesting. The reason I had asked about boxing earlier, big fight weekend, very big fight weekend. Shakur Stevenson is back fighting, thank God. But nobody's excited about Core fighting this weekend, man. Nobody's excited. I'm
Here's
excited. I like Core.
but here's the
He
thing.
should beat Artem, but I think Artem he should beat Artem convincingly. This should not be that close. I'm actually more excited to watch Keyshawn Davis fight
Mhm.
than I am for Shakur. Maybe because he's from the 7-5, he's from
But
Virginia,
but
homegrown.
P game. When you got Shakur fighting after you've had Tank fight, after you had Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fight,
After Canelo
has fought, you got him fighting after all these other
Top Rank
like,
got to do better
bigger
about putting
name,
his fights closer and in between all of that instead of it being
or humble yourself, put your fighter on a card with one of those other guys.
Top Rank. And I've said this in spaces with other people. Core isn't gonna get the recognition or the fights that he needs to get until his contract with Top Rank is done and he walks away from Top Rank.
And that's the unfortunate part about
him,
boxing.
Keyshawn Davis too. It's a couple. I hate Top Rank. Top Rank does no justice for their fighters. They fighters get belts though. I'll say that.
Right.
They definitely put them in position to get belts, but they don't get the fights for those belts. That's where the problem comes in.
It goes back to every time we talk about boxing, it's mainly boxing, not really MMA, because MMA has done a good job about matching up fighters.
Yeah, because it's just UFC.
Talk about boxing. Are you crafting a career or you're building a legacy? Which one of the two?
And it always goes back to, and this is nothing new in boxing, but it's the promoters. And now that you have too many, that's why Floyd was always like, I'm just gonna control my career, which was good and bad, but it's Top Rank. Once Core gets off Top
Rank and it's Golden Boy too, because Golden Boy does that with their fighters also.
A little bit, yeah.
Likes to try to protect their legacy. And the craziest thing about it is, and this is what kills me about Golden Boy, when you have tie-ins to guys like Oscar De La Hoya and Bernard Hopkins, those two guys built a legacy by fighting everybody that stood in front of them. They fought everybody they could fight in every weight class they were in.
But then they're not doing the same with their fighters.
And they're doing the exact opposite as promoters. And that's the shit that kills me about Golden Boy. It's like you present yourselves as one thing as promoters, but then you show the total opposite when it comes to how you actually present your fighters. And that's the shit that I fucking hate about the sport of boxing. And the shit been going on since it started in the late 80s and stuff with Don King and some other guy and Bob Arum and them. And it was pervasive in the 90s, 2000s and whatnot. And it's getting worse every fucking day. And it's unfortunately gotten to the point where boxing has allowed themselves to fall behind MMA.
Yep.
And it's gotten to the point where UFC and Bellator and shit like that is more popular than boxing is.
People are more excited about a UFC fight weekend than a boxing, depending on, because that Tank card from top to bottom was good. But that's probably the last good one where it was like the entire card. Compared to majority of the UFC cards have been really dope as far as when you look at it from top to bottom when you read it down. Like I said, this weekend, Core card is pretty good because of the top 3 fights with Core, Foster, and Keyshawn.
Right.
Like I think this is going to be a really dope weekend for all 3 of them. All 3 of them should come off with wins.
Man,
but
it's a kid. I want to say it's Abdullah Stevenson. Is a kid that a guy that I know. I think that was his name. He was saying like, pay attention to him too. Like he's another up and coming fighter or whatever.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Pay attention to Gino. Bryson know who I'm talking about. But like I know Gino's from New Orleans and stuff, and he's a huge boxing fan. So if he says, "Hey, watch this guy," that's somebody that I'm gonna watch. And I know
I've been
I've learned
watching
that name
Ali
before.
grandson too.
I watch, bruh. That 6th round, he fought a 6th-round fight against a dude, right?
Yeah,
I want to say
on the Tank Davis card, if I remember.
yeah. I know it was the same weekend. He separated one of his shoulders in that
And
6th
still
round.
won.
I can't remember at what point in the round that he did. But dude got kind of cocky. But I'm like, bro, Nico fighting with one fucking arm, and you still can't like
Did
give him a pair
you
of
catch the
rounds in
UFC
that?
card this weekend from over the weekend?
I
I know you
saw
try to catch most
some
of it.
of it, but I'll be
I'm-
honest with you. Pereira is just he's just on a different level, bro.
until he fights John Jones. That's the fight that's got to
And
happen now.
wait, I don't think he'll ever fight John because
Oh no, John wants him.
no,
already
John
said.
wants him. But this is the thing. I read something. I want to say it was earlier today that says when Pereira was kickboxing and stuff, when him and Stylebender fought when they were kickboxing, Pereira used to be a weight bully.
Yeah, he
they
came
were
into this fight bigger.
Here's the thing. Supposedly he's naturally like a small heavyweight or a big lightweight, a light heavy, but he cuts weight to fight at middleweight or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, what are you really saying? Like, is he a weight bully? But what people don't understand is that if a guy naturally walks around at like, let's say 225, 220, 230, and he cuts to 180, 170 or whatever, that's not as bad as him trying to walk around at 220 and then maintain that weight for a fight. You can't always do that because your walk around weight and your fight weight, they're not always going to be that close together. That just don't happen. What's up, boss man?
You say hey.
Hey.
Hey, why you so close on the mic, brother? Hey.
Hey.
He like, look, I'm trying to.
He just got his hair done, so he had to show everybody his hair. Yeah, see.
Hey, look,
got-
I need to go to the barbershop to get my
You got the
head
freshies?
shaved.
Got the freshies. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Get my beard trimmed up. But next week I'm gonna be fresh though. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
but-
fresh like you next week. Next week, not this week. Next week.
Yeah, but the UFC card was pretty good this weekend. If I wish I would have bet because everybody I knew was gonna win won, and I told you old boy was gonna lose because the nigga play around too damn much, man.
Bruh,
I knew he was, and that Irish
I
nigga
missed
don't play.
it. I missed it.
I knew he was gonna lose. Like,
bro,
and I
was
like
so
him.
mad I fucking missed it.
I
was
want
so
to
mad
root
I
for the,
missed it.
you know me. I want to root for the black man, but it's hard when I
Right.
know like them Irish niggas is running boxing right now. If you
Bruh.
Irish, if you German or Slovakian or whatever, you ain't losing. I'm betting on them niggas every time.
Bro, look,
It's only a
You-
few Americans I'm betting on.
when you said that last week, I was like, hey, he for real about this shit. And then I
Yeah.
looked at old boy the way he fights and the way he like goes about. I was like,
He wants to
he's
be like
focused,
Stylebender and them
serious,
so much.
stalking style. Whereas Venom like to, he like to move around and play around
Play too
and
much.
I was like, he gonna get walked down and he gonna get caught against that cage and he gonna get
Mhm.
caught with a couple of shots.
Yep.
Or he gonna shoot on him and grab him right quick, and that's gonna be a wrap. And that's exactly what ended up happening to him. He just like I hate that it happened to him, but it's like you called it. Like the styles make fights, and he just has a style that's conducive to him getting beat up. Ain't nothing we can do about that. But shoot, man, what else happened this week?
WNBA All-Star voting. Kimball Walker
Bro.
retired.
Okay, that was the one thing I did want to make sure I bring up about the WNBA. When you look at last year's All-Star voting,
Them numbers
the leading voter didn't
had
even
like
get 100,000 votes.
Asia had
I
like
want to say Asia had like
76,000.
95. She had
No,
like
it won't.
90.
It wasn't even that high. It was like in the 70s.
No. Okay.
Hold on. I
It
remember
wasn't
looking at the picture.
100,000. I know it may have been 90, 80 something, but it wasn't 100,000.
Let me see. I remember
The
looking at
leading
the
vote
picture.
getter this year had like, I want to say like 800,000, 900,000, damn near 1 million votes.
Here it is. No, you're right. Asia had the leader last year was 95,000.
Okay, see,
95,860.
thought it was something like that. I knew it
The
wasn't more than 100.
lowest,
I knew it wasn't more than 100.
the lowest as far as the top 5 was Angel
Mm-hmm.
this year with 381. So they more than, that's like what, 500%?
Yes, easy,
Which is crazy. That also shows how, to me, I usually hate numbers, but for the WNBA, you have to use them as far as these arguments. When
right.
you look at from last season to this season, how the numbers have tripled, quadrupled,
Right.
all of that
Right.
with these new players. And I think it really is the rookies coming in. Like, it's the
Right.
eyes that the rookies have brought in from college into the WNBA, and they brought in stars, all of this that were not previously watching the WNBA, but they were following college basketball the last few years because of these women. And I think that's why it's like the vets hate it. The vets hate it so much because they like ain't nothing changed. Like, we're still winning. These new players may have came in and their teams look a little better. Indiana's looking better now because they finding their footing. Chicago's been getting it in because they finding their footing. But look at New York and Vegas is still doing what they were doing last year. You know what I mean? Like, business as usual.
This is what they have to understand. When you have more eyes and ears on your game, that translates to more dollars for you in the short and in the long term. And you have to just come to grips with the fact that, okay, I may not have brought this to the table, but I'm still sitting at the table when the table just got a hell of a lot bigger than what it was before.
Exactly.
And I know that this table got bigger.
More chairs.
I got bigger because these girls came in. So let me not be bitter. Let me just take advantage of the situation that I'm in.
Nope, they don't want to. And that's the sucky part about all of this season, is that you can clearly tell the hate. And I look at it as hate. Maybe it isn't. I've seen a lot that Monica McNutt has said, and she said something on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn that I loved, was like, hey, the beginning, you have to talk about Caitlyn. You got to talk about the Angels and the Carmella. Well, not really the Cardozas in a sense, but it's more Caitlyn, Cameron, a little bit, and Angel. You have to talk about them because of those two is the reason we're having this discussion even bigger than we did before. But do not forget the Kelsey Plums. Don't forget the Donna Taurasi's, the Brittany Grinders, the Asia Wilsons, what those girls in New York are doing. Like, that's where the Breanna Stewarts and everything, that's where the issue is more coming in, where it's like, all y'all see is them two. You ain't see the dogs that's been in the backyard.
Right. The building blocks that, and this is one thing that I know, Keyz has talked about online as far as like the IWC, like some of the work that like her and Hearts and some of the other ladies have laid down, and then you get some of these ladies like Lyric and some others that are standing on their shoulders. It's like you have to have building blocks in order for that next generation to say, okay, I see what you did, OG. I'm going to take the baton and I'm going to take it a little bit further and go a little bit further than what you did. Like, you have to have that.
Yep.
And a lot of what I'm seeing in the WNBA is these women that are coming in, they know that attention wouldn't be on them if it weren't for the ones before them.
Of course, and they've said it.
They're making sure they're taking that and like, okay, let me bring the game and do what we could do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the Asia Wilsons and the Kelsey Plums and the Breanna Stewarts and, you know, some of these other ladies that have been in the game for a while that have toiled away, that are going to take advantage of this newfound exposure that they're getting because of these new ladies that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to take advantage of the exposure. They're not going to complain, bitch, whatever.
Which
about
is
it.
what they should be doing, man. Like,
I'm gonna just ball out and let it speak for itself.
Asia Wilson had to, like, there had to be backlash about Caitlin Clark getting a shoe deal in order for Asia to get her shoe deal, which
and
is
the
crazy.
stupid thing about it was Asia's deal was in works for like a year or so before even the word even came out that it was happening.
And
So
Caitlin and the crazy thing was Caitlin has an AN1 deal. Her
Bruh.
shoe is with AN1. It ain't even like she got Adidas or Puma. Which is dope too, though, because
don't get me wrong,
just like with Angel,
because you
Angel
got a
getting
shoe deal.
Angel getting a Reebok deal. I feel like those two getting the deals they got to me are dope because they easily could have got a Jordan deal. They could have got a Nike, or an Adidas. They went out. One, it's about the money. Two, Angel got it because of Shaq and what Shaq is trying to do with rebranding.
He's trying
Reebok.
but he
and I love that
at the right time.
Yeah,
to try to establish something. I'm not gonna say it's that to reestablish Reebok in the basketball world.
Yeah, and I love that.
He's
now he has to go find
he's checking out Iron is Hot with Angel Reese, and I love it.
So now he got to find the right NBA player on that
side.
It's going to be hard because Nike, you're going to have to find a rookie or somebody in high school right now that is more or less like, yo, it's Shaq. Like, and it's the money. They're seeing the money side of it, but they got the star power. Kind of like what Nike did with Jordan, they could have went out and got anybody in that draft, but they believed in what Jordan is and what he was doing. That's kind of like what Shaq is going to have to do with Reebok.
Remember when we talked about this months ago when Shaq was first named, right? We said this shit months ago. It's going to take Shaq relating to the parents of the athletes that he's trying to recruit now. Because the parents of those athletes remember Shaq in his heyday. That's still a big deal to those parents. It's not a big deal to the athletes. The athletes nowadays know Shaq as like inside the NBA. He used to play with Kobe. The parents remember, no, Shaq was that dude back then. So it's like you got parents who are old enough to remember Shaq for who he was coming up, LSU, Orlando, LA, whatever, early on Shaq. And you got their kids who remember Shaq as like this funny guy inside the NBA. I vaguely remember him playing with Kobe or whatever. Something like that. Like, that's what you'll get now. But he came in at the right time. Angel Reese and the women were coming up at the right time. And he made sure, I don't know the details of her deal with Reebok, but he got her to sign on the dotted line. And as one of his first big acts or signings or whatever as the president of Reebok basketball, I fucking love that for Shaq. The only other move that I love outside of that for Shaq was that he brought in Allen Iverson as his like number 2 guy or a part of his team at Reebok basketball.
Because he understands, like, when it came to Reebok and basketball shoes, them two is the reason. More Iverson than Shaq, if you want to be completely honest. But it was still those two that kept that Reebok name afloat for years, and even still, like, I just got some Iversons. Like, that's the only pair of Reeboks I own is Iversons ever. I've never owned Reeboks. I mean, you from New Orleans, so I know you have. But outside of them damn Iversons, I hated everything Reebok did. Personally. So. And I had Shaq. I think I had some Shaq. I had the Kamikazes back in the day.
Yeah. It's just the fact that those two guys, like you said, were cornerstones of Reebok's, them kind of kicking the door down and making a mark in the basketball market. Those two guys were cornerstones of it. So for them to be, the two faces of their resurgence back into that market, I think it's dope especially for guys like our age, like we remember those guys and what they meant to the game of basketball and their shoes and their signature shoes and whatnot. You know,
Especially for Iverson, it was a cultural thing. Like even with Mike Vick, Mike Vick had one of the dopest, even though it was Nike, like football shoes that you could wear, like wear. And
because
like I said,
if you think about it, before Vic's football signature shoe, the last signature shoe we had before that was wearable, that was dope, was Dion's.
Yeah.
And that was like 10 years apart.
Because Dion and the Bows at the same time? I know I think Bows were first, then Dion.
Bows were like 90, 91, 92. Dion's came out like 94, 93, 94, 95-ish, 96. Yeah. And then you didn't have the Vicks until like 2004, 2005. Wait,
I think so.
It was like 03, 04, 05 when you had
something Vicks. Like that, yeah. It was about 10.
It was like you had like a 5-6 year period in between each one. You know, from Bo to
Diamond Turfs. Them Diamond Turfs, they just came back out too. Them Diamond Turfs, crazy.
It's an iconic shoe, bro.
We gotta have an episode about that, like sports, like shoes and sports, but the cultural impact that these shoes have had in sports. Because when you look at like football shoes, as far as like football players having a signature shoe, it's really Dion, it's the Bows, and it's the Vicks. Somebody else had one too. Who else had a signature football shoe that was fire? Was it just them three? I feel like it was just them three.
I'm trying to think, man. It was
football wise.
Bo, Dion, Vic, and I want to say those were the only three that.
I think those are the only three.
There were other people that had signature shoes, but I think they were mainly cleats. I don't think they were like wearable
shoes outside of. And then basketball is another discussion though, because most people is just Jordans, but me being the sneakerhead I am, you good, bro?
Man, my man said, "Look, I'm having a time. Leave me alone."
He really is.
But no, like I feel like basketball is more, and it goes back to the marketing of the athlete themselves. When you have football, they have on helmets.
Well, not just that with basketball, because everybody will have a dope basketball shoe. A lot of people will have a really dope shoe that you can wear on the court that I'll go buy to go play in. But as far as fashion,
you don't. As far as fashion, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Like, because you can market the athlete easier in basketball, I think it's easier to market the shoe. Whereas in football and baseball, football is harder to market the athlete because of the helmet and the face mask and stuff like that. But both sports wear cleats as opposed to just a basketball shoe is something you can wear anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that has a little bit that plays. I think that play. I ain't gonna say a little bit or a big. It plays a part in the marketing of the product itself. And I think that's why we don't see as many signature football or baseball shoes that will take off as far as casual fans and casual.
Yeah, because the only baseball shoe, I ain't gonna. Ooh, it was a couple.
The Griffies.
Griffies are always iconic.
Derek Jeter always there.
Derek Jeter, but Derek Jeter had the Jordan 1, so it was just.
It was like a Jordan hybrid kind of shoe.
If I remember, it was a mid. It wasn't a high either. It was a mid Jordan 1 that was customized with the Yankees colors. But I think Griffey and then it was somebody with a G, because I remember my son had them. Not Giancarlo. It was
and
hold on, I'm about to tell you right now.
You know what? I don't think Juan Gonzalez had his own shoe. I think he was just a Reebok athlete. Because I remember it was like 93, 94 or so. I remember he was a Reebok athlete, and I had a big-ass Juan Gonzalez. That's when he played for the Rangers. I had a big-ass Juan Gonzalez poster in my room. Um, he didn't have a signature shoe or anything. He just said he was just a Reebok sponsored athlete. But regardless, it's just with those signature shoe deals and whatnot, and different athletes. I really wish that there were more iconic football and or baseball shoes out there like there are basketball.
For sure, I definitely do. Because a lot of kids are
some of
playing
these football and basketball cleats, and you just be like, all right, put that on a rubber sole bottom.
Man, I went in
one change and
I went
look
in
at this as a shoe that you would wear outside.
I went in Hibbett Sports the other day, and I was looking at football cleats for a friend of mine for her son, and it was so many Jordan. Hibbett had so many Jordan like football cleats and baseball, and I was like, dang, they really took like the 11s, the ones, the Jordan 4s,
a lot of them,
and they just put the spikes under them. I'm like, why didn't they have all this when I was in school? Because I damn sure would have had a lot of this on.
Bro, that was the funniest thing. Like, one, was it last basketball season or the season before last? I can't remember, but I remember like the kids were like, "Hey, why does so and so keep wearing these same shoes when I know he has these other shoes that his mom got him to wear?" And I was just like, he really likes those shoes, so those are that's his pair that he likes to wear. Just, leave him alone. Like, that's what he likes to wear. And I remember my girl at the time, she was like, I don't know why he keeps wearing those shoes, because I said, hey, look, he's comfortable in those shoes.
Might be his lucky shoe.
Leave him alone. Let him wear those shoes. Come last season, she had to buy him some other shoes. But he wore those newer shoes. And I was like, see, he feels comfortable in these shoes now. It just depends. I said, look, it just depends on how it goes, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you can't read too much into that. It just...
Because basketball, finding the right shoe is always the toughest. You can go get any basketball shoe and put it on, but finding the right shoe that fits and that just like style or whatever that goes with how you play, how you move, that gives you that comfortability is tough. And once you find one, you stick with it. And if you got to wear that same one over and over and over, it's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to run that joint into the ground. And then what are you going to do? Go get another pair of that same one and run those into the ground too. So,
bro, I'll never forget. Like, I had on a pair of shoes and stuff, and I was feeling good and everything, and like them shoes were good, and they matched the uniform. That really was like a big deal to me because it matched the uniform and everything. I was like, all right, I'm the man now.
Right. Like, once you find that one that matches the uniform and it feel good,
bro. I'll never forget. It was one time my cousin called me. He was like, hey, I want you to come play in this tournament with us. And I was already moved here. And I was like, all right, cool. And he was like, hey, order these shoes. And I want to say it was the first pair of the Vince Carter Shocks basketball shoes.
I had like 4 of those. They had some blue and some white with blue that matched our basketball jerseys.
I had the black and silver ones. I
know exactly which ones you're talking about. Them. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Yeah, we had those. We wore those. We had the short shirt, headband, bro. We had everything. Like, and he had came out here a few times, like, and we went played ball with like some football players and shit, some big ass dudes that would like rough us up and make us physical and stuff. Like, we was prepared, bruh. Like, it was so crazy because when we finally got together and we played in this tournament or whatever back home in New Orleans, like, they were like, hey, where he from? Like, He was like, man, that's my cousin. You know, he used to stay uptown or whatever. And it was funny because they thought he bought him like a ring. Like, nah, like y'all just haven't seen me play in a while. Y'all don't remember what I look like or nothing. And it was like they was like, nah, where something's not right. Like, where did y'all come from? Where did y'all like y'all did something different? Like, we just fucking practiced and was on our shit.
That's crazy. I found it.
The biggest thing, honestly, to us was that we had the shoes and we had the shorts and the shirt, the headband, and like we looked good. We had practice and everything, but we felt like, hey, we look good. We're gonna play good.
I just sent them to you. That's the ones that I had that matched our jersey. The white and Royals. They matched our jerseys. I think we ended up having that as a team shoe. Because like everybody, all the starters and like maybe the first like 3 on the bench, like everybody had those.
The ones we had where all that white is, it was black, and where that blue is, it was like a silver color.
Yep, I was just looking at those ones too.
That was the ones we had. That was the ones we had. That was the ones we bought together. So I'll never forget, like, bro, we went, dog, we went shopping and like we bought like clothes to go out in and everything. Like it was wild time.
No, them shocks was crazy.
That's other stories for a whole nother podcast.
It's so crazy when you look back through like basketball shoe history, bro. Like we had some shit. The Pippins back then, all the different Pippins, all the different pennies, except for
I had the black ones that had the white sole on it with the silver check, the Pippins.
The foams are the only shoe I can never hoop in. I hate foams. Me and Fan was talking about this earlier in the backyard. Like they bring it back to Galaxies, and I'm excited because I want to get them.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'm gonna wear them. I think I just want them for nostalgia and to have them, but I'll probably never wear them because I hate foams.
Look, when I first saw that tweet, and I can't remember who posted it in the chat or whatever, and you said, "Oh, I might get me a pair of those." I was shocked because I know you don't like them. But to me, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because like I got that narrow ass foot with that weird arch on it or whatever. Like they just feel comfortable for me, like just to wear. And like a couple weekends, matter of fact, when Gresh
they might feel better now that I'm older. They might,
bro. Trust me,
they might.
Put the newer pair on. Don't put the old pair on. When the new ones come out, if you get them, put those on. And compare them to what the old ones feel like. And I think you'll feel a difference there. But I remember it was a couple weeks ago when Gresh was here and I was going to meet up with him and holler at him or whatever. And I saw my homeboy that earlier that day. He was like, "Hey, you got the pennies on." I was like, "Bro, these are my like go-to run errand shoes." I was like, "That's the only time I wear these when I gotta go somewhere, run errands, go to the store or something like that." And he was like, why? He looking at me like, you wear foams to go? I was like, bro, they comfortable. That was all. They just comfortable on my foot. I don't know why. They slip on easy. They feel good. I walk around in them. I don't have no problem with my foot, ankles, knees, nothing like that. Like they just comfortable for me. They may be different for you, but he got football player like big flat feet or whatever. So his foot different shape from mine. So that's another reason why we differ on like what's comfortable on our foot as opposed to what's comfortable on my foot. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, like we definitely gonna have to have a episode talking about different shoes.
Definitely. Fashion in sports is
go good on your feet and shit like that.
Yeah. Sports fashion is crazy because it's like you said, you have the football signature shoes that you can fashionably wear. What basketball player actually has shoes that look good off court? Because it really ain't too. It's a slim. It might be about 10 in the history, and that's being like some of your favorite players do not have dope shoes that you can wear off the court. Steph Curry is everybody's favorite player, but you cannot wear Curry's off the court.
No, those are
Um,
strictly hooping shoes. Like, and I don't even think his
KD
shoes. Sometimes you can't even wear those for like other workout type of activity.
Yeah.
You're strictly playing ball.
Like, I really think Kyrie, KD, not even Kyrie. I don't even think Kyrie's were like fashionable outside of the court. Like, they were dope on court though. But like LeBron, Kobe, Pippen, Barkley, I guess you could say Ewan. I want a huge Ewans fan.
There are some
a lot of people love
LeBrons,
Ewans now. Ewans are making a crazy comeback now.
for real.
Crazy
There's some
comeback.
LeBrons, some Pippins, and like a couple of Barkleys that you can wear fashionably. But
I think pretty much all the Barkley. Well, which Barkleys?
the Zoom.
I just got a pair. Okay, yeah. The CB 34s or
Yeah.
okay.
The ones
those.
that look shit, I want to say it looked kind of close to the Chris Webbers or the Pippins or something.
Hold on.
No. The ones, matter of fact,
it's the ones I showed y'all I got on Father's Day, right?
It's the ones that look like the Vince Carter you just sent me. Those shots.
Okay, no, I ain't got those ones.
Though I'll have to, when I find them, I'll send them to you. I'll have to look for it tomorrow because I can't remember.
I know I sent y'all the joints on Father's Day that I got.
You know what? It may be similar to those.
Because those, I'd probably deleted the picture on my phone.
It may be similar to those, but I know, man. Look,
it's a good. I know a few people I can bring in for that discussion because that discussion can go a lot of different ways. Because it's really just basketball, and there's been a very few baseball. Because we love the Griffey, so
bro,
yeah,
it's a lot of them motherfuckers that we could be going on and on about.
Facts,
like big time. Because it's ones that we even forgot about and stuff. But
nah, it's definitely quite a few that we forgot.
Oh, like man, I definitely wrote that on the episode list. Like that's one that I'm already thinking of different people that we could pull in for an episode like that to like give like background, little history, or what have you.
I got the perfect. I definitely have the perfect person to bring in for that one.
Yeah, we gotta make that episode happen because I know that's something that crosses over not just sports. Like a lot of our people that follow us, that they may not be in the sports,
but they in the fashion.
They in the fashion, they in the shoes and shit. So I know an episode like that would like really like hit home with them. So man, we need to put that one together before football season get here. That needs to be one of our summer episodes. Is that cool with you?
That okay? Okay.
Look, it's cool with the boss. Then the boss say
you gotta give them
it,
the fly Eagles fly. Say fly Eagles fly. You say it? Fly Eagles fly.
Hi.
You gotta give them the fly. Give them the bird.
You gotta do it.
You're doing the bird. There you go.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
All right, you gonna do the sign off this week? Okay. You gotta talk though. You gonna talk? Okay. All right. So you gotta say thanks for watching.
What?
See you next week. Like.
Right.
Damn, I can't even talk. Subscribe.
What?
Share.
Share.
And come back.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, boss man said the show is over. The show is over. We holler at y'all next week.
Give him the peace sign.